Going on, everybody? It's May 13th, 2026. I have no idea what day it is. I know the date, but I don't know if it's a Wednesday or whatever.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. This is the Space and Rocket Review. Hey, Redbeard, what's going on? Over in the YouTube chat. What's going on, Twitch? How are you? Okay, Tier 3, 134-month resub. It's Wednesday. Cool. Yeah, I lost. I lost it, dude. So what kind of ice cream did you get, Bree? Bree got a Reese's peanut butter cup sundae. I got a banana split, and I ate it, and it was good. All right, so we should be teeing up there should be CRS 34 happening now. So I will try to get us to jump right in. They are 50% go currently for
clamp arms are significant because
Ignignot.
they help to stabilize the rocket during fueling.
We'll see what happens.
Go at throttle up.
Hello, hello. What's up? Dairy Queen? Yes, yes. There's also, while I was taking a break, NASA just decided to drop some pretty hard Artemis 3 news. So, yeah, there's that.
Space Launch Complex 40.
Okay, 5 minutes out. So this is CRS 34. CRS 34 is a commercial resupply mission. That's what CRS stands for, Commercial Resupply Services, technically. It is a uncrewed Dragon capsule that's going to the International Space Station. The Dragon flying today is Dragon C209 on its 6th flight. The first stage that's moving it today is Booster 1096 on its 6th flight. They're launching from Slick 40 and they're... Oh. Wait a minute. That's 51.6 degree inclination on the on the ascending... Oh, hold up.
And there's confirmation the strongback is beginning to retract.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
We might get a shot of those clamp arms opening up around the rocket here in just a second. All told, that maneuver, there we go, takes about 15 seconds for them to fully open. And then at this point, the strongback is able to recline just about 2 degrees away from Falcon 9 to give it room for liftoff.
See the pad over there?
And again, now that those clamp arms are fully open, the vehicle is standing fully free at the top. The launch tower strongback will begin.
Hey, thanks, Older Buffalo. I appreciate it, man. It's been a rough week for you, boy. I don't have the patience that I usually do. I'm just trying to. We're just trying to get through it. Health-wise, we're doing just fine. Yeah, Bree's doing just fine. I just got her ice cream. Believe me, she's doing just fine right now. But yeah, I'm struggling with what happened a little bit. I'll be all right. Maybe starting next week I'll be good, but Freedom 250 is on the upper stage. I like that. I like that 250 logo. That 250 logo is great. May I recommend it strong and dick... What? Bless you. In Dragon 2 era, what's missing from a cargo dragon versus a crew dragon? The launch escape system, JP, seats, the command console for the pilot and the commander. And yeah, that's about it. They don't have the launch escape system. The nacelles that have the launch abort or the launch escape system are just... They're just fairings on the side of Dragon. That's so it can carry more. 2 minute, 30 seconds out.
Primary communications and avionics.
Nah, I'm not... Yeah, man,
TBC8.
No. What you can recommend is shutting up. Oh! Got him.
The engine gimbal or wiggle test. And this is when SpaceX will move the nozzles ever so slightly to make sure that the guidance hardware is acceptable for flight. SpaceX does the same checkouts on the first stage engines and
I'll take that.
Seconds before ignition.
Stage 2, lock float is
2 minutes before liftoff.
All right. Should be good doing a ground gas closeout here in a second.
We were ready for that stage 2 liquid oxygen load complete.
And at
again, some 260 miles above Earth. The International Space Station orbiting and ready to receive cargo. And they are currently going to be off the coast of Newfoundland.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Seconds, we'll hear the auto idle and the gas closeouts. And those gas closeouts refer to the venting and closing out of gaseous systems.
Discovery,
Thanks,
go at throttle up.
Tanks, and sealing all the vents to maintain pressure.
We're going to fly.
And you've also
I'll let you know in about 20
clouds
seconds.
that are billowing around the rocket right now. That is the liquid oxygen as it warms slightly inside the tanks. Some of it boils off, and that gas is vented to manage pressure. And when the vented
50%
oxygen hits
probability
the warm air,
Go at
it
throttle
instantly condenses into clouds. Similar principle as your breath on a cold morning, just on a much bigger scale.
All right. Should go for start.
Falcon 9 has entered startup.
There is that confirmation we were waiting for that Falcon
Dragon
9
is in countdown.
and Dragon are in startup mode. At
All
this point, our onboard flight computers have taken over the countdown. Just inside of T-minus 2 seconds, the 9 Merlin 1B engines on the Falcon 9 first stage will ignite. Once they're at full power, Falcon 9 will lift off the pad and begin its climb to orbit. We are listening in for the final go from...
Hold.
Yep, there it is.
We are no-go due to violations of launch weather rules.
Cumulus cloud all day.
The launch auto sequence has been aborted.
You can tell because of the way it is. This is a commercial resupply mission.
Unfortunately,
It's going to
just
the
as we
ISS.
were listening for our launch director to call go for launch, instead we heard a hold called out.
So they call the hold cumulus cloud all day. You can tell because of the way it is. Hey, Beats. Yeah, it's probably a 24-hour. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why they let it go to 30. They usually, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. The way it is sad. Those are sad clouds for sure. So yeah, CRS-34 is, so what these missions, this commercial resupply services, this is the 34th commercial resupply mission for the ISS, for SpaceX. I'm just trying to see if this is carrying anything weird. No, not really. Oh, excuse me. So what this thing is basically carrying is food and water.
Just isn't in our favor.
Yeah, this carries like food, water, clothes, stuff like that. It's just resupply to resupply the station up there. No special late loads. I don't know if this one had a late load on it, KJ. I don't know. I've been very much out of the space flight loop for like the past week and a half, which is why we're going to move right over into space news here. Cargo won't say поехали. Нет. Это не хорошо. Нет. Not good. This is not good. No, everything's good. Hey, doggy, what's going on? Next attempt is on Friday at 6:05. Oh, okay. You had a late load, but then the fiber kicked in. Did your load hit max Q or something from all the fiber or whatever? So, guys, what I usually do with my space news segments is tell you guys what's going on in the spaceflight industry, but I think we might need to do the flip of that. I think you guys need to tell me what's happening, because I am way out of the loop. I am a week out of phase for my space flights. Jesse moved from Falcon to the Starbase team. Oh, interesting. Did you know they caught a booster? Not in the past week and a half, they didn't. 4 astronauts went around the moon. I didn't say when. No, you didn't, but I did. I said if it's happened in the past week, I don't know. You said they caught a booster. They have not caught a booster in the last week. Are you lying to me?
Discovery,
Think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? Relativity posted a new update. The AXEMU is still non-existent. Reverse Uno card. NASA sent the first American into space. Okay. Stoke flight hardware. This is not how I wanted this to go. All right, we'll start with the Artemis 3 preliminary. That's what came out today, dude. So let's see what we got here. Big SpaceX Starship update. Yeah, I think we'll hit those ones, dude. All right. NASA outlines preliminary Artemis 3 mission plans. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Center that text. So NASA's moving quickly to define next year's Artemis 3 mission in Earth orbit. A crewed flight test that will test rendezvous and docking capabilities between the agency's Orion spacecraft and commercial landers from Blorgen and SpaceX. Since a February announcement adding an Artemis mission ahead of the crewed landing missions to the lunar South Pole region, engineers have been evaluating mission profile options and operational considerations for Artemis 3 to ensure the test flight helps the agency and its partners reduce risk ahead of the next Americans on the moon during Artemis 4. Rocket Lab bought a few more aerospace companies. Okay. Huge Dream Chaser announcement. It's still doing absolutely nothing. Wrecked. Man is return. Hey, geek. So, while this is a mission to Earth orbit, it is an important stepping stone to successfully landing on the moon with Artemis 4. Artemis 3 is one of the most highly complex missions NASA has undertaken, said Jeremy Parsons, Moon to Mars Acting Assistant Deputy Administrator, NASA's Exploration Systems Development Mission Directorate in Washington. That guy's job title is Moon to Mars Acting Assistant Deputy Administrator, NASA's Exploration Systems Development Mission Directorate in Washington. That's your job title. Oh, I like that, Predominant. I can't view Imager, though. He handles Moon to Mars stuff. He handles the lunar program in Washington. You could just say that. For the first time, NASA will coordinate a launch campaign involving multiple spacecraft integrating new capabilities into Artemis operations. We're integrating more partners and interrelated operations into this mission by design, which will help us learn how Orion, the crew, and ground teams all interact together with hardware and teams from both lander providers before we send astronauts to the moon's surface and build a base there. By the way, since you were gone, Apollo 11 landed on the moon. Okay. Thank you. I've only been gone a week. I have not been gone 53 years. Not even 53 yet. Okay. The mission is planned to carry out a series of objectives designed to demonstrate critical systems needed for a future lunar landing. During the Artemis 3 mission, the Space Launch System rocket will launch the Orion spacecraft from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida with 4 crew members. Instead of using the interim cryogenic propulsion stage as the upper stage of the rocket, NASA will use a spacer, a representation of the mass and overall dimensions of an upper stage built without propulsive capabilities. The spacer will maintain the same overall dimensions and interface connection points as the upper stage between the Orion stage adapter and a launch vehicle stage adapter. Franco is still dead. Okay. Just download the image. I don't think it'll let me. Nope, it won't let me. We'll figure out something else. You could just link it to me in Discord, dude. What is the mass of the upper stage? Of an ICPS? Give me 1 second. About 33 tons, 72,197 pounds. The spacer will maintain the same overall dimensions and interface connection points as the upper stage between the Orion stage adapter and the launch vehicle stage adapter. Design and fabrication activities for the spacer are progressing rapidly at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Material for the barrel section and the upper and lower rings is currently being machined at Marshall in preparation for the upcoming welding operations. And they proceed to follow it with a picture of Kennedy Space Center. Okay. Artemis 3 core sits in High Bay 2 in the vehicle assembly building at NASA Kennedy with the core stage tank attached to its engine section. Hey, Space Pope, what's up? Are they going to put a probe or something on orbit at least so we get more out of the launch? I don't think so. After the rocket delivers Orion to orbit, the spacecraft's European service module will provide propulsion to circularize Orion's orbit around the planet in low Earth orbit. This orbit increases overall mission success by allowing more launch opportunities for each element as compared to a lunar mission. SLS carrying Orion and its crew, SpaceX's Starship Human Landing System Pathfinder, and Blue Origin's Blue Moon Mark II Human Landing System Pathfinder. Informed by Blue Origin and SpaceX capabilities, NASA is also defining the concept of operations for the mission. So those are called ConOps for short. While some decisions are yet to be determined, astronauts could potentially enter at least one lander test article. The crew will spend more time aboard Orion than during Artemis 2, further advancing the evaluation of life support systems, and for the first time will demonstrate the docking system's performance. The mission will inform lander rendezvous and habitation concepts and mission operations in preparation for future surface missions. The agency also plans to test an upgraded heat shield during Orion's return to Earth to enable more flexible and robust re-entry profiles for future missions. More toilet testing. Yep, there's the ESM doing acoustic testing. Yes, those are stacks of speakers. Over the coming weeks, NASA will continue to refine specific plans for the flight, including a timeline for identifying astronauts to train for mission operations, options to evaluate Axiom's AXEMU spacesuit lander interfaces ahead of lunar surface missions, mission duration, and potential science operations for the flight. That's a hell of a sentence. NASA asked for industry input on potential solutions to improve the communications with the ground during the mission since the Deep Space Network will not be used. The agency is also seeking both international and domestic interest in potentially flying CubeSats to deploy in Earth orbit and maybe share other opportunities as the concept of operations for the mission is further defined. Huh. As part of the golden age of innovation and exploration, NASA will send Artemis astronauts on increasingly difficult missions to explore more of the moon for scientific discovery, economic benefits, establish an enduring human presence on the lunar surface, and build on our foundation for the first crewed missions. So that, all right, well, there we go. We have confirmation there that NASA is going to build an ICPS spacer. The idea there is that they can save the last remaining interim cryogenic propulsion stage for the Artemis 4 mission. What they're trying to do with that is make sure that they have a way to get Orion out to the moon so we can do the landing in 2028. And if the landers are ready, the landing in 2028 can happen and SLS won't be a bottleneck. Switching Artemis 3 to a low Earth orbit mission enables, basically means, I mean, you could just put Orion on top. You could just put Orion on top of the core stage, but they don't want to do that because then it screws the mobile launcher. All the arms aren't in the right spots. Bestest basis. Thank you so much, EJ. I know if I really tried, I could find this stuff, but because of you, I don't have to. Yep. What Perdonkadonk was trying to send. I know. I'll save that. We can use that. That's cool. Cool picture.
This is space. I'm in space.
Isn't that thing SSTO capable with just the capsule? Well, yes. Yes, but no, but yes. Space Pope. Gifted 5. And Big C had a 47-month resub in there. What are the main differences from Artemis 2? Well, Deep, this mission is not going to the moon. Hear me out. Instead of using an ICPS spacer, you launch a space station module instead. I mean, what you could do is... What we could have done, what we should have done is just put a lander in there. But hey, whatever. Doesn't matter. What was the questions? I'm sorry. Please bear with me. It's going to take me a second to answer these. What are the main differences? So yeah, this is going to low Earth orbit, but it's rendezvousing with the landers. So instead of... So like Deep, they took Orion and separated from the upper stage, turned Orion around, went back towards the stage, backed up, turned the stage, and went back towards the stage again. They did a rendezvous proximity demonstrations, or rendezvous proximity operations demonstration. So RPOD is what they called it. They did everything but dock with the upper stage. The reason why they didn't dock with the upper stage is because the upper stage didn't have a docking port on it. Right? And then they left the stage and then they went out to the moon. This is not going to have an upper stage. SLS is going to put it into orbit, right? Orion's going to separate. It's going to get into low Earth orbit, and then it'll do RPOD's rendezvous proximity operations, docking, not demonstrations, with Starship or with Blue Moon Mark II. Either one. So this one's going to stay into Leo, and it's going to test out Orion's docking capability and make sure that the landers are good to go. That's the idea. Does that mean they're boilerplating the ICPS for Artemis 3? Yes, they are boilerplating it. They're working on a spacer at Marshall, Okie. If I had to guess, they're probably using a qualification test article and just like use the qual article for the ICPS and just make the spacers for it and call it a day. The reason why they want to do this, guys, is because they only have 3 interim stages. Well, they only ordered 3 interim stages initially. They were only supposed to use 1, and then in 2018, NASA decided to buy 2 more from ULA, and then that's it. They only bought 3 Delta 4 derived upper stages for SLS, and they don't have any more, and they can't make any more either. The reason why they can't make any more is because the Delta 4 rocket system was retired, right? And the ULA got rid of all the tooling. They switched the tooling over for Vulcan, if anything. So they can't make any more stages. What's up? Are your kidneys good? You're looking kind of yellow. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. The camera may have updated or something, dude. I don't know. Let me take a look. I don't know, dude. It's just the way the camera decided to do things today. All the settings seem right, bro. I have no idea.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
There's so much going on. Can you identify what the next steps by whom we're looking for? What? Arctic 59-month resub. So glad we aren't making each SLS a work of art. Yeah, I'm just busting your balls. Yeah, I know.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
NASA is worried about throwing away another ICPS when they are going to be throwing an entire SLS in the drink for this LEO mission. Mind you, we would have had tested Orion's docking abilities if we didn't cancel that expensive Constellation program.
Couldn't have said it better myself, dork. Couldn't have said it better myself. We wouldn't have this problem if we had kept going with Constellation. Wouldn't have this problem. you know? But here we are. They're also putting Starlink on Orion. Cool. That's his name. Dork Mingus. Tipped $3. First part of the message is kind of off, though. You can order new SLS. You can't order ICBS. I don't mind SLS doing a LEO mission. Personally, I don't mind that. They did... The hell was that? They did it with Saturn V. The Apollo 9 mission, they sent the Saturn V into LEO to test the lander out. So it's not the stupidest idea. Yeah, but we saved 30 billion by spending an extra 90 billion. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, it sounds like government accounting to me, Tessa. Just saying. So, no moon landings if we had Constellation? What? What do you mean, Beats? No moon landing? If we had kept going with Constellation and the Constellation program ended up getting flat funded like SLS, we would be basically at... let me think. I'd say we would be pretty much at like the Ares 5 test flight at this point. Most likely. Yeah, Ares 5 test. Ares 5 would be operational by now, and we'd be getting ready for going to the moon. Even with all the delays. Even if Constellation ended up getting flat funded like SLS did, yeah, Ares 1 would be flying pretty operationally. Ares 1 would probably fly, I don't know, once or twice a year. That's about it. And we would be retooling 39A for Ares 5 at this point if we'd kept going with Constellation. Yeah, I'd say we might even be at the moon. It's possible. Considering SLS is more or less flying on Ares 5's time scales. If you look at it, if you look at the projected flight dates for Ares 5, they pretty much jive exactly with SLS's launch dates. So I'd say we'd be past the operational mission, and we may have done one moon landing by now if the Constellation program just kind of kept going. Even with the flat funding that it was at, it would have been way behind schedule, but we probably would have had a lunar landing by now. Yeah, Hellfish, that's what I'm thinking. We would be, even with all the delays, even if the Constellation program got flat funded, we would still yeah, we would be back on the moon by now. And now that I'm really thinking about it.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
They should have never canceled it. Well, yeah, guys, I mean, I've talked about that many times. I don't want to bore anybody today. 48-hour turnaround for Dragon. That's correct, Ride Tech. Yep. I have a feeling that had they not canceled Constellation in 2010, they'd have canceled it in 2017. No, I don't think so. I think Ares 1 with Orion probably would have... I'm thinking. Ares 1 probably would have started flying around 2017, 2018, I'd say. And by the time DM2 came around, yeah, we would at least have an Orion that we know is capable of docking, etc., etc. Ares 5, man. How far do you think Booster 19 and Ship 39 will go this flight? Ghost Vera, I think they're going to work. for what it's worth. Are we saying that this spacer will be connected to the SRBs, pushing the Orion capsule and service module? No. 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 The Artemis 3 SLS will look exactly like the Artemis 2 SLS. From the outside, you won't be able to know the difference. Only us nerds will know the difference. So the ICPS, all right, here, look. Okay, so here, the ICPS is, it's a fully cryogenic second stage with an RL-10B2 in it. And how this whole thing works is if you look at the hydrogen tank, this is the hydrogen tank, and then inside of all this insulation is the LOX tank. How this all works, and then your ullage helium tanks are kind of sitting here on this truss structure that connects the two tanks together. How this all works, guys, is your vehicle staging adapter will attach here. So, so if we look at, you know, SLS, right? You see this cone piece right here? So this is your core stage. So at the bottom of the core stage, you have the MPS, then your hydrogen tank, then what's called an inner tank, then your LOX tank, and then this thing with the checkerboard on it, that's called the FS. That's the forward skirt. And then on top of that, you have your LVSA, Launch Vehicle Staging Adapter. The top rim of the orange Launch Vehicle Staging Adapter attaches right here. It attaches to this part. The idea, now why? Why do this? Why would we do that? Why not just have it push the entire upper stage up there? Well, the idea here is that your liquid oxygen tank doesn't have to be structurally sound. It just needs to be good enough to hold the liquid oxygen inside of it. The reason why is because on the way up, when the vehicle is launching, on the way up, you're basically pulling the stage here. So just these parts, these truss braces are just holding it. They're pulling the LOX tank. And this is called the ICPS aft deck right here. That's that piece. And then the RL-10, they're just kind of hanging there. And then when you separate and they go to fire, right, it'll push the whole thing forward. Now, so your hydrogen tank is only what's called in the load path of SLS. The LOX tank is getting pulled. The hydrogen tank is what's taking the load path from the core stage and the SRBs, right? This piece right here, that's the hydrogen tank. Now, once again, why would you do this? Well, you save mass. Your LOX tank doesn't need to be as strong because it doesn't need to handle 2 SRBs and 4 shuttle engines pushing on it. You only need to reinforce the hydrogen tank, and that's why the hydrogen tank has these stringers on it. That's why it has this checkerboard thing going on. Now, once again, what the spacer is probably going to look like is this, just minus the truss pieces and this whole back part. The spacer is probably that. Yeah, I'll bet you they'll use a hydrogen tank. They'll probably use the qualification test article for the ICPS program. If I had to guess, they'll probably use this, and they just won't attach anything to it. It will quite actually just be the tank. And they'll probably just pressurize the tank with like nitrogen or something. And call it a day. Important question, will the spacer be orange? I don't know, man. Welcome back, stage and a half. Yep. They call that manufacturing of a barrel segment and rings in the press release. Yeah, Zelencho. So whatever design it is, it seems newly manufactured. It's possible. Yeah, I mean, that is the way it kind of sounded, didn't it? Just wondering if they have 5.4 meter tooling to make this at Marshall. How do you they'll control the spacer for re-entry? RCS? This never separates from the core stage on Artemis 3. It doesn't separate like it did on Artemis 2. It'll just stay attached. They'll just bolt it. No need for a decoupler or a spacer. You're not going to jettison the tank. It's just going to stay with the core stage, and Orion will separate, and that's it. So what happens if, when they have no lander to use for Artemis 3? I don't know. SLS won't be the bottleneck. I do know that. Yeah. Yeah, SLS won't be your bottleneck at that point. That's for sure. Do we know how far along HLS is? Nope. Nope, I have no idea. So how do you feel about no upper stage? Any news on the suits? Nope. Well, not that I know of, Finn. I don't know. I've been out of the loop, dude. I basically have not been doing any space news for the past week and a half. Trey, how do I feel? Let me think. Hey, dude, here's kind of where I'm at, okay? Like, let me get comfortable. Here's where I'm at. I don't mind if Artemis 3 goes to Leo. I really don't. Getting more flight data on an SLS is good. And, you know, if Jared can do what I think he's going to do. I thought, you know, in the past that he said post like Artemis 5, you know, we're going to explore commercial options. What I think he meant by that is that they're going to commercialize SLS and have SLS running under its own. NASA's going to spin it off because its technology readiness level is high enough and spin the SLS program off into a commercial company. This is what they did during the shuttle program. And then NASA will buy SLSs for their lunar missions. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So Artemis 3, you know, people are looking at it like, oh, we're going to waste a core stage. We have a finite amount of shuttle engines right now, but they're being replaced by the RS-25E program, which is already a thing. So, and they've already made engines. They're testing RS-25Es right now, and they're building new ones. So screw it. All right. Do I like that SLS is using RS-25s in an expendable capacity? No, I hate it. I'm not going to also say we shouldn't be using something that works. If it works, use it. If the, you know, if the suit fits, then wear it, right? Like it kind of sucks, but Artemis 3, I don't really mind Artemis 3 using a spacer like this. That's probably a good idea. I thought it would be kind of cool to shoot Artemis 3 off into a HEO orbit. Shoot it into the same orbit that Artemis 2 went into, and then use the service propulsion system for the apogee raise burn and go from there. But they don't want to do that. It is kind of it's kind of a waste of a core stage. Having Orion have a low Earth orbit option at this point, a Leo launch vehicle, like on top, like putting Orion on top of New Glenn or Vulcan or something. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, but I don't know if it can go on Vulcan. New Glenn, yeah, that would be super useful to have right now, but it's okay. HLS Starship Critical Design Review is at the end of Q2. Cool. Have you read Heinlein, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress? No, I have not. Like, here's where I'm at, dudes. Like, and I ain't trying to be cynical. You know, we're on the right track. It's just, we took a really, you know, circular way of getting to the right track. Like, we did like 3 loop-de-loops to get on the right track. But, look, Artemis 3, no, has that spacer stage. I don't care. That's fine. Test the landers out. I'm really wondering if the landers are going to be finished. Now, this does buy you some time because with Artemis 4, you have an upper stage that you can send out to the moon. Good idea. I think that's a good idea, but I think that also in itself is another interim solution. I would be very curious where SLS goes from here. You have one ICPS to do one mission to the moon in 2028. What do you do after that? Yeah, sure, we could have more SLS core stages. We could have more SRBs. What are you doing after that? I'm wondering if there's going to be a gap in flight capability between 2028 and the next lunar landing. The EUS ML2, things are what really makes me the determination that 26 would be a miracle if there was a landing. 28 would be a miracle if it was Hellfish, you could do it this way. I mean, either way, you're still dependent on the landers. Is it true that SpaceX and Blue Origin need to do their own landing tests before NASA uses them? Yes. I think it's vulnerable to cancellation after that. They awarded the Centaur 5 stuff, I thought. Yeah, Trey, that was done very much in haste. Here's my thing. I'll just keep this short just in case anybody hasn't heard this. You're not putting Centaur 5 on top of SLS is not a short-term solution. It's not a short-term solution because you can't. You can't. It's not like you can just develop a different sized vehicle staging adapter, right? And send it. Centaur 5 can't handle the loads. I'm 100% sure of this. How do I know? I know physics. Do I have some inside source at NASA? No. But I know Centaur cannot handle that. There's no way a Centaur 5 stage is rated for 300% load safety factor. There's not a chance in hell. I'm sorry. Stages just aren't engineered like that. And I know what people are saying, oh, EJ, you're pulling that out of your tail. You're pulling that out of your tail. It's like what I'm describing is like saying a car can survive a 60-mile-an-hour hit and not be damaged. That's basically what NASA's saying. Oh, well, we'll just make this car uncrashable. What? What are you talking about? Just auto strut to heaviest part. Well, that invites the Kraken. Could they do low Earth transfer with Dragon and Starship? To help with those gaps, Dragon has docking parts. Beats maybe if they wanted to contract SpaceX out to do that, sure. What could happen? You deleted that. Okay, never mind. So, now here's the thing. Can you put a Centaur on top of SLS? Sure. You would need the modifications that you'd need to do to put it up there. Remember how I told you the ICPS, guys? The LOX tank from the ICPS is hanging, right? It's out of the critical load path. You would have to do that with the entirety of Centaur. So Centaur would have to be, you would need an adapter that attaches to the bottom of a Centaur, and then an adapter that attaches to the top of the Centaur to take Centaur out of the critical load path, because it'll get smushed if you put an Orion on top of it and an SLS core stage below it. So, you know, I've said in the past that it's impossible. You can't put a Centaur 5 up there. That's not the right way to say it. You can. That is not a short-term solution. And it's being billed as a short-term solution, which is not right. That's disingenuous at best. You're that is something that is going to take a fair bit of time to redesign. What I mean by that is like that adapter, unless Jared Isaacman can really work some magic at NASA, and it looks like he might. Like, I'm not going to say that he isn't. Right? I think he's a great NASA administrator. Hold on. I got a message from my beautiful, lovely wife. Okay. Not anything useful. Sorry, that was me. I have my phone off silent just in case Bree needs me, and she just linked me a crap posts from Reddit. So there's that. So here's the thing. Okay, let's say they do get the adapter made for Centaur in time, and we're in a position to launch Orion to the moon a bunch of times. Let's say we can get another mission in 2028 with the Centaur 5. You're still okay. Where are your landers? Is SpaceX and Blue going to have another set of landers ready? SpaceX or Blue? Now, what do we do? Do we do alternating missions? Like, where do we go from here? Like, say all that happens, and the landers aren't ready for another flight, right? Like, what happens? I'll give you another hypothetical, and this is like worst case scenario, right? But there's no way that NASA isn't thinking about this. What if the Artemis 3 mission fails? Not fails like it kills astronauts. What if, like, they get to the lander and the lander's like, no, I don't want to land today. Piss off. Right? Okay, and then they have to come home. Now what? Now what do you do? Where's your next rocket? Centaur, putting Centaur up there is a cool thing to do. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind it. And I don't mind the spacer, just like I don't mind the spacer on Artemis 3, but all of these are just... okay, this is where EJ's opinion, this is my opinion. You know what? I'm not even going to precurse that with this is my opinion. This is what NASA needs to be doing, but I don't think this is going to happen. I think NASA should have their own way to get to the moon. NASA should have an Apollo-style way to get to the moon that just gets 2 people to the surface. Or 4, because Orion, right? You need a way that gets 4 people to the surface, 4 people in 4 spacesuits, and that's it. Because think about it like this. In the future, you're not always going to need a Starship HLS. You're not always going to need Blue Moon Mark II, right? I mean, Blue Moon Mark II might be good enough, but what I would argue to do is to put Blue Moon Mark II on top of a higher powered upper stage on SLS, and then put Orion on top of it, so you don't have to worry about refueling Blue Moon Mark II on the way out to the moon. You could just use it to land Apollo style, which, I don't know, maybe they'll do that in the future. But I do believe that if we're going to sustainably explore the moon base, right, at least in the next 5 years, like, in the next 5 years, how many times are we going to go to the moon? Once? Are we going to go twice? Jared Isaacman in his ignition plans on, permanent habitation in the 2030s. Okay, the 2030s are 4 years away. Well, 3.5 if you really want to be technical. I hate that so much, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's 3.5 years away. Okay, what can get done in 3.5 years? Do you think SpaceX might have Starship scaled by then? Do you think Blue will have multiple landers ready to go? These are the questions that you need to ask. The answer to those questions might be yes, it's possible. But I would think that at the end of the day, NASA should always have their own way to get there with what's called a co-manifest. They should have something like the Saturn V, so they should have their own lander, in-house lander with Orion that they can get to the lunar base just in case there's something weird happening with the commercial partners, or say, their landers aren't ready, or et cetera, et cetera. Always have their own way to do things just in case. What the heck was that? Just in case, right? I think that's the most sustainable way forward. But I highly doubt that that's going to happen. What most likely is going to happen is that SLS is going to move to a commercial procurement, and maybe NASA will buy like 5 or 6 more of those things to get people out to the moon, and then use the commercial landers. And then I think once Starship is fully human rated, there's really no... NASA is going to see really no reason why NASA should be launching their own stuff in-house. I have Starbase Live going, guys. That's what that was. That was a Hubschrauber. That's most likely what's going to happen. And I don't know. I guess just as a spaceflight fan, I'm always going to argue for more redundant architecture, because for the past 50 years, we've been making compromises like this, and it's never ended well. That's the short version. Could Dragon get to the moon? It's possible, Shark Tales. I approve of your rejection of hedging. Everything we say can be assumed to be our opinions. In my opinion, never needs to be said. Yeah. Well, yeah. The reason why I try to speak with conviction nowadays, Mayor, is because this is what needs to happen. It's what needs to happen. Okay. Let's talk about hedging your bets. So I want a LEM on top of the EUS with Orion on top of it. So when we go to the moon, the EUS shoots us out there. Orion turns around and plucks a LEM off of the thing, and then off of the upper stage, and then it goes and does an Apollo-style mission to the South Pole. I know there's some serious glaring Delta V problems with doing that. I understand that. I'm saying fix that, right? I say we do that. If NASA did a crash course in doing that right now, right? We could probably get that figured out by the 2030s, right? And then you have a way to constantly get to the moon. It's not what if the suits are finished, or what if the lander's finished, or what if this is finished? What about this? What about refueling? What about that? No, you have a simple way to get to the surface of the moon. That's it. Now, I know what people are going to say. Like, okay, so what if Starship is a thing? What happens when Starship happens? Okay. Worst case scenario here, we have 2 ways to get to the moon. One of them is a one launch co-manifested launch that will absolutely get you there. That inadvertently buys down risk for Starship. You're not putting so much pressure on SpaceX to get that thing done in any usable timescale. I mean, they're going to do it on their own timescale, right? But that makes it so Starship, they can cook with Starship, and they can get it done, and they can get it done right. Right? You're not putting any additional schedule pressure on SpaceX that they already didn't put on themselves, right? That's why I think that's a better solution. Say Blue Moon Mark II and say Starship do everything that we want them to do. But NASA built out their own lander on top of all that, right? Say that happened. Okay, what's the worst case scenario here? We have 3 ways of getting to the moon. I don't think anybody should be upset about that, right? Like, I don't think anybody should be upset about that. I wouldn't be upset about that. Would you be upset about that? I'd take that deal. You take that deal? I'd take that deal. Why is refuelable landers even a part of this program to begin with? Whose idea was that? Well, the refillable landers came out of compromising the design, RJ. This is why I always say we shouldn't have canceled Constellation. $30 billion. Blah, 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 blah. This is why I always say that. Refuelable landers aren't a bad thing. I don't hate refuelable landers. I love Starship. Starship's amazing. We got Flight 12, baby, and we'll talk about that more in a second. And I think it's going to be awesome. I love Starship. I love Blue Moon. New Glenn, Blue Moon Mark II. On-orbit refueling and transfer vehicles and boil-off mitigation techniques and ISRU stuff. I want all that. I don't hate commercial. I want all that stuff, right? But we're in the pickle that we're in because we got rid of Constellation and we replaced it with a commercial option. And one of those commercial options just happened to be successful to replace Ares 1. So Falcon and Dragon happened to be pretty damn good. I'd argue that every other commercial option, with the exception of Cygnus, has failed miserably, and commercializing stuff in the name of saving money for NASA is just doublespeak for defunding NASA. But we keep making compromises with our architecture. We compromise, and we compromise, and we compromise, and we compromise, and we ended up NASA. That's that just ends with NASA having less capability, right? And then we look for a short-term solution like commercialization to fix it. Now, how's that going with the AXEMU or our landers at this point, right? This is what I mean about having more landers. If NASA had their own in-house lander, yes. Would it take a long time? Sure, absolutely. Would it probably be superbly expensive compared to a commercial option? Yeah, sure. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that SLS doesn't cost a lot of money to fly. Of course it does. I'd argue you could bring the cost down if you launch it more, right? But if we, get into another space race, might be prudent to have that capability already kind of there and ready to go, right? If we just kept going with the Constellation program, we wouldn't even be in a space race with the Chinese right now. We wouldn't even be in a space race with them. We would have already won. We would have already won before they even had a chance. You know, I'm not going to say no to more landers, and I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to say that commercialization is your end-all be-all solution to compromised architecture, because it's not. You know? Hey, old man, what's up? 15-month resub. Give me some plate steel in a couple weeks. I'll build a frame around Centaur, no problem. Half million steel. It'll only be a little sketchy. Yeah, it'll be fine. Now, the argument for in pro of refuelable landers, RJ, is that you have a much more sustainable architecture for exploring the moon. You can reuse the lander, unlike the LEM, right? Unlike the LEM. That makes sense. Right? All right, I get that. But we decided to do that, and then we also decided that we wanted to go back. We wanted to go back in 2028. So now we have an architecture that's going to take some time to make, right? And we also need to do it quickly. We're in a really bad. That's a really bad spot. That's terrible. It's breaking a couple of rules. I mean, I think NASA's up to the challenge with Jared and Amit running it. I really do. And I don't doubt Jared Isaacman. I'm a little skeptical of the plans, but I genuinely think he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he will fix it. He'll figure it out. I just really don't want this to end with SLS only launching with a Centaur on top of it. That's just a gigantic waste. I mean, we have super heavy lift capability that's operational at this point. I would say leverage that. You know, and I know what people are going to say, well, but what about Starship? What about New Glenn? What about Starship? What about all this? Why would we do that with Starship? We could save money if we get that. I'm like, yeah, dude, you could save money if you want NASA to pawn off their spaceflight capability. Saving money by canceling SLS is, if you want to do that, that's fine. I suppose we're in a little bit different precedent because we have the commercial partners, right? But I do not think that it is a wise decision to have a commercial partner be the only available access to a commercial partner being the only available access to a lunar base, for instance. NASA can't, even with our current ignition architecture that Jared Isaacman is rolling out, NASA is still beholden to commercial operations to get anything near their moon base. You need Blue Origin and you need SpaceX. I don't think that's a good idea. What if they say no? What if they say no, we don't want to do this anymore? How's that any different than the perceived sustainability of an in-house government program? Meaning that we had a way to get to the moon, and some politician, Nixon, decided he didn't want to do it, and they didn't want to do that anymore. Frick them, and then canceled the whole damn thing. Now we have no way to get to the moon. If we only end up with one way to get to the moon, or a commercial entity to get to the moon, right? What's stopping them from saying no? Maybe Elon decides he wants to go build data centers. I don't have time to do NASA missions. Then what? I don't think that's the case. I don't think it would happen with SpaceX, but do you want to take that chance? I don't want to take that chance. I don't think that's a good idea. Really don't. I think that's why I won't say, in my opinion, NASA should have their own lander to hedge their bets against this. That'll keep everything honest. having a redundant solution. NASA said, well, if you're commercial, you're supposed to be cheaper. Here's our lander. If you can't do it cheaper, why are we using you? You know, it allows NASA to be able to wheel and deal with the commercial market better. I don't know. Just food for thought. And once again, I don't hate Starship. I don't hate Blue Moon or Blue Origin or SpaceX or anything like that. I just want more rockets, not less. And if you really want my 100% honest to God, hand on the book opinion, I don't think SLS is that expensive. For what it does, it's pretty damn good. Certainly nobody else can do that. Just saying. Like, I don't think the multi-bajillion-dollar price tag for the whole Artemis program for Orion and SLS is... Can anybody honestly say that's not a good way to spend money? Like... And I know that skeptics would be like, well, SpaceX can do it for cheaper. Yeah, okay. I would argue that the Starship program has probably exceeded or probably will exceed the entire cost of the Artemis program by the time it's done. In fact, I'm pretty damn sure that that's what's going to happen. There's no way that the Starship program is going to have a total cost involved architecture that is cheaper than SLS. There's no way. They've probably spent way more than $93 billion at this point. And they probably will they'll probably end up spending hundreds of billions of dollars. Right? Hellfish, I think $4 billion a launch was $4 billion a launch for SLS was... That was quoted by people who don't understand what total cost involved means. I would argue that if we're comparing the actual correct metrics, and I know you agree with this, I'm just saying it. I would argue that, so, you know how SpaceX, or Elon says, like, we could potentially get Starship flights down to like $2 million a flight? Yeah, that's potentially, like, down the road. There's no way that Flight 12 that's coming up isn't launching to the tune of a multi-billion-dollar amount. There's no way. Like, and take like Falcon 9, for instance. Falcon 9 costs $40 to $60 million, depending on who you ask. That's just the price to launch something. Services are a la carte. If you want to launch people, it's going to be more expensive, right? But the capability scales with cost if you're comparing the price tag of the launch, right? But that's not how NASA does business. NASA, because they're a government organization, has to have accountability. They have to disclose all their funds. Every government organization has to do that by law. So they have to tell you the full price tag. It's not just the price to build an SLS rocket and launch it. It's the price to keep the lights on in the VAB. It's the price to pay all the people that work on the program. It's the price to pay the utility bill, pay the heating bill, or the air conditioning bill for Michoud. It's the price to use the test stands. It's the price to use all the analytical software, the wind tunnels, etc., etc. All that is roped into cost. So if you launch it more, price per launch goes down because total cost involved. This is very simple economics, guys. If you're... My guess, this is just a guess, guys. I would probably throw my hat in the ring at about $700 to $800 million a pop if we're going to compare price per launch, PPL, to like using the same kind of economic model that SpaceX does. Because it doesn't cost $40 million to launch a Falcon 9. To make and launch a Falcon 9, actually at this point it might. But that's what I mean about scale. Falcon 9 is ridiculously inexpensive because they launch it a lot, right? You could do the same thing with SLS. Just because it's a government program doesn't mean you won't, right? You always buy in bulk, right? And SpaceX being able to reuse stages, it factors into that cost going down even more, right? Yeah, I would say that SLS is probably, if you were using SpaceX's economic model for measure, like how SpaceX measures economics, like how they measure price per launch, because they're definitely not total cost involved. It's just straight PPL. If you're doing that with SLS, I would say 700 to 800 million for an SLS launch. If we're using the same kind of economic, I want to say scale, but that's not the right word. If we were just looking at SLS PPL, it's probably 700 to 800 million. That's a guess, though. Hey, Blark, tier 3, 8-month resub. Last I saw was about 850 million to put a SLS out on the pad. Now, why, EJ? That's 10 to 15 trips to the grocery store. What do you mean, Lark? What would the difficulties be with using multiple Falcon Heavy launches and the on-orbit stage to connect Orion? Falcon Heavy second stage is not really designed to launch anything heavy into space. Arctic, what I like to tell people is that Falcon Heavy, well, a super heavy launch vehicle on paper, is not actually designed to move heavier payloads into low Earth orbit. It's designed to move low Earth orbit payloads further into space. You're not putting an Orion on top of Falcon Heavy without some significant redesign to its adapters or upper stages, something that SpaceX is absolutely not going to do. Falcon Heavy is designed to move regular-sized payloads further, not move heavier payloads closer. Does that make sense? To call a plumber to fix Orion's toilet is also a cost involved. Yeah, there you go. The redesign on the pressurization systems, the redesigning the valve on the ESM, redesigning the heat shield, dudes. That's all. This is all cash that gets figured in. Like I said, if you're comparing price per launch from Falcon to SLS, yeah, SLS is probably 700 to 800 million a launch. That's what I would guess. There's no way it's $4 billion. I mean, it might be right now because total cost involved, right? But TCI goes down over time. If you launched SLS probably 20 times, I'll bet you by the 20th mission you could get it to 700 million a pop. Easy. Which is a freaking bargain when you think about it. Consider what Artemis 2 did. $700 million for that? I'm in. I don't have $700 million, but I would happily pay taxes to do that, sure. And I don't like taxes. You know what I mean? I don't like those. Pay all this freaking money and the road still has potholes in it. What the hell's that about? All right? What's that about, man? That's all I'm saying. You know? Sorry, I'm kidding. Mostly. But anyway, how's your accountant? Yeah, right. Actually, he did a good job this year, Fluffy. The guy, you know, I mentioned when he was doing a bad job. I'll mention when he's doing a good job, dude. I ended up, despite the fiasco from last year, I ended up basically not paying anything this year, which is great. We basically got it just right, which is perfect. You don't like taxes? Me neither. Yeah, I know, right? They suck. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Food. It's kind of hard to fill potholes up in space. Oh, but with an SLS, we could do it. I'm just saying. Skip the ballroom fund mission. Boy. I'm not saying nothing, real bit. I ain't saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. You know what I'm going to do?
Go at throttle up.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut and I'm going to change the subject. Because I don't want to talk about that. Funny, but I don't want to talk about that. I'm not saying nothing. You know, in a world where you're always compelled, you know, especially on social media, you're always compelled to, what's your take on this? What do you think of that? You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. You know what I do know? You know what I do know? This is happening soon. That's what I do know. How about that? So I believe the vehicles are destacked right now for pre-flight checks. But this week, SpaceX has done a full wet dress rehearsal with Starship, and they did a static fire on the booster, which was just ridiculous. That's... oh... dude, you know what? I'm just going to shamelessly plug Max and all the pictures. Max is down at Starbase, and all the pictures he's been taking are so boss, dude. They're so good. Yeah, we'll talk about those in a second, dude. Oh, I don't hate what's going on in this picture. Both vehicles are in their mega bays. Is SLS there to build I-93 to the moon? Yes. Can we watch the static fire, pretty please? All right, fine. All right. I was going to show you Max's pictures, but just give me a second. University recruiter. Tube bender. Okay. Where are you? Oh, yeah. We should also talk about that, too. We'll get to that in a moment. There's pictures from the SpaceX pictures from the wet dress rehearsal. I love this. That's, you know, that's pretty neat. You're gonna need 5 subs to watch it, bro. Can you imagine some people actually are like that unironically? Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That's, you know, those are pretty good. Just hold on. That's nice. Dude. Dude. Oh. Yeah, I really appreciate what you're showing me right now. Yeah, that's sound, please. So what you're seeing there, dudes, is the sound is reverberating through the vapor. Through the vapor that was that's being left from the water from the deluge system. You're seeing the sound ripple through these clouds of steam. That's what that is. That is visualizing the sound waves that this thing is putting out. It is so loud you can see the damn sound. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's all engines, Black Horse. Yep. What's really cool about this footage, and I watched it in the damn hospital. Don't tell Bree. Okay, so watch when the engines ignite, you'll see the overpressure. There's an overpressure wave from when rockets turn on. It's the initial pressure wave that goes out. You can see it. It actually condenses some of the air around it. See it right there? It's only very, 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 very quick. You can really see it right there. Look at the pressure wave. Oh, that's so cool. See it right? Oh, that dude, that's sick, man. That's really neat. I really like that. I also knew that already. I'll stream Flight 12, absolutely. Tentatively, we're set for, I believe it's Monday afternoon. 19th? Oh, good. Good. That's good. We'll have a good old hospital checkup on Monday, I believe. Tuesday. Good. Now, you guys thought this one was good. This next shot, though. Oh! That's nice! Oh, can we... Yo, headphone users, we're watching this with sound on, okay? Headphone users, you've been warned. 5 seconds. That's that. I like that. I like that. Check it out. You can see the overpressure. See it right there? The wave. Watch. Behind my head. Oh, that's sick, dude. That's so good. Oh, that's awesome, man. Dude, what a monster. That thing is so cool. Oh, my goodness. So, the crazy thing is, guys, is you see this? This is saturated steam here. They're throwing they're throwing a ton of water into this trench. And the reason why if you look here, let me just mute this. It gets clearer over time. See how you could see the waves reverberating through, but as we get further and further in, it's saturating. That's because the steam is, it's called saturating. It can't absorb any more heat. You're putting all the heat energy that these rocket engines are taking off, it's being absorbed by the steam. The steam can't absorb anymore. That's what happens when it all turns clear like this. Like, look, you could see down into the trench. You could see the deflector, or at least the flames bouncing off the deflector. That's because the water has stopped. The water can't do any more. There's only so much the water can do before it absorbs all the heat and turns into steam. You can see there's still some out here that isn't fully saturated, but the heat is coming from over here. You can see right here, you can see all the way down to the ground. Right? And then right when they hit peak saturation, they shut it off. See? Whoop! Crazy, huh? I love it when steam locomotive engineering and rocket engineering overlap. Yep. I heard that people's ears were ringing from the office at this test. Dude. Okay. I don't mean to, like, oversell it. Super Heavy genuinely scares me. That thing is, like, not in a bad way. I am in awe of the amount of power that comes out of that damn thing. Like, I'm just like, whoa, okay. Okay, bud, you stay over there. I like you, but you could stay the hell away from me, you know? Like, that thing is a monster. Check your Discord DMs when you get a chance. I shared some links with you from crazy footage from the test. Oh, yeah. I saw what happened to Lab's truck. Yeah. Yeah, the Lab Padre truck has seen better days. That thing got messed up. Yeah. Bill, I seen that, you know? I seen that. You've got to be kidding me, dude. You've got to be kidding me. You know what that is? That the thing moved. It moved. Super Heavy moved this 3-ton freaking Suburban. It moved it. How do you explain that damn tire mark, dude? Yeah, see, it moved the rear tires, but not the front. Because there's more mass up here, because there's a V8 up in the front. There's no mass in the back. It's all empty space. It freaking moved it. But how far? About this much? I'll bet you the vibrations are what's moving it. It's probably not the overpressure event probably blew out the glass, if I had to guess. Didn't blow out the windshield, right? The overpressure event probably blew out all the glass, and I'll bet you the vibrations were rocking the truck back and forth, and it shimmied to one side. That's my guess. But either way, it freaking moved it. It moved that freaking Suburban. That's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. The front tires are turned a bit. Exactly. Dude. The truck had its wheels straight, right? And the back of the truck moved and the front tires stayed straight. So now it looks like, dude, it turned the steering wheel. You've got to be kidding me, man. That's a freaking Suburban. That ain't a Tahoe. That thing is heavy as hell. it freaking moved it. Yeah, the windshield glass didn't break, guys, because the glass on the sides and rear of any car is tempered. It'll shatter. It's supposed to shatter. The windshield, you do not want that happening when you're going down the road. Windshields on cars is laminated glass. So there's a laminated sheet in between two panes of glass on a windshield, right? So it'll crack. It won't shatter. And that is precisely what happened here. Yeah, it's cracked. It's very cracked. It's also got a lot of dirt on it. But yeah, windshields are, because they're laminated glass, they won't shatter. They just crack. Oh, hey, it's something I know. I worked at a glass factory. Yeah, I mean, take a chance. Look what it did to the tempered glass. You got a bunch of redneck jewels sitting in the back of this truck. You got a bunch of redneck diamonds in there. Dude, it blew the dust cover off. Look, it shattered the freaking the drip guard. It shattered it. That one's not even attached anymore. Like, all right. Why did they park there? Pop, this is Lab Padre or Avid Space. That's their PTZ camera. So NSF does it. NSF has the camera on the trailer, right? They have the camera on the trailer. We just tow the trailer there and we set up the trailer. Lab has a bunch of Suburbans. And Lab just goes and drives the whole Suburban there and just leaves it there. Yeah. See it. I see you got some fitment problems there, bud. Oh, those mirrors, that mirror's very broken. Something hit it. Something hit the damn thing. I'll bet you a rock hit it and broke it. It's shattered, see? Dude, can you believe that? Is that nuts? That's how powerful Super Heavy is. I saw that picture, guys. I've seen it. That's ridiculous. That's what I mean about, like, dude, I understand what Super Heavy's doing. I've seen them land. I've seen them fly. Well, not these versions, right?
Go at throttle up.
That thing scares me. Like, you know, if I could sit in like a blockhouse and watch Falcon from like 100 yards away, like watch a Falcon 9 launch, I'd be like, this is sick. This is awesome. I would not do that with Super Heavy. I would not be anywhere near that thing when it goes off. The only place I would want to be when that thing goes off is a good distance away or on top of it. Right? Like, Snicker, sorry about earlier. I didn't know, sending best wishes. It's all good, dude. I needed to check on Bree anyway. I kind of oversold it, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a dick. That's my fault. Yeah. It's all good, dude. I apologize. Yeah, and thanks for the kind words, man. We're good. We're cool. Snake, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. My patience is not nearly as good as it is usually. I'm like, ah! And I'm let's just call that a byproduct of having the worst week of my life last week, and we'll just go from there. Don't worry, I will go back to being the streamer that takes punches left and right because that's funny. Just give me some time, dude. Oh boy. Anyway, have you tried ice cream? I did try ice cream, dude. I had a nice big old banana split, brother. I had a nice big old banana split, and it was everything I wanted it to be. VB, you're about 5 hours away and considering going down and watching the launch. What's the percentage chance it will scrub? Starship? First flight of a Block 3? I'd say pretty high. Super Heavy is like a tactical nuclear blast stretched out over a minute. It really is, Tessa. The amount of energy that thing puts out is absurd. Like, dude, it's incomprehensible. Like, even, like I said, dude, I know what it does. I know it's putting out 17 million pounds of thrust. I know it's got 33 Raptor 3s in it, full flow stage combustion cycles. They're making 2,400 kilonewtons a pop, right? There's 33 of them. Like, I could tell you everything about the booster. I know what it's doing. That thing still scares me. I'm like, I don't want to be near that. I don't want to be near it at all. Screw you for making me hungry for ice cream. You know, Shy, I'm not sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not. Sent you a couple messages on Discord. What's on your mind, Trey? Oh, that's from Mark. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see it from Mark's point of view. This is bananas. Now, I don't know this dude, but Mark's cool. We like him. He works on rockets. This is from the office building. I'm just going to say headphone users. I don't think that, yeah, headphone users. You got to think the blast detonation area is almost to the VAB. From 39, it's literally... Yeah, goalie, dude. It is... that thing... Like, dude... I get it. It's just an amalgam of metals, right? Like... But that thing is no joke, man. It's like a frightening amount of power. Dude, that is so loud. That is so loud. Oh my goodness. Logan, it was extremely loud from the office yard, much louder than the previous versions. It sounded like fireworks going off. How far is that? 2 miles? Oh, the office is less than that, dude. Can I don't want to... I love that noise so much, dude. Oh, it's so good. Dude. Yeah, Tessa, that, like, okay, I've heard rockets in real life, and I've heard footage, like, Dawson and I, when we watched NG-11, we were standing there, and then we had recorded footage, right? And same with Falcon Heavy. We had the recorded footage, and then obviously we were there, right? And so I got a good idea of what this sounds like in real life. Holy crap. I've never heard anything that sounds like that. You hear that? The sporadic popping, dude? You'd feel that right here. It would feel like somebody doing this. That's what that would feel like. Like, the pressure shifts between sound waves would be enough to take your breath away at this distance. Like, you'd be like, whoa. You'd feel it in your lungs, which is bananas, dude. That's insane. Is it because they lit all the engines at the same time? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joe was on the floor the whole time. Logan, dude. It's like the first time, the first Starship launch that I saw was Flight 7. And I saw that booster come back down and land, and we have footage. NSF has footage of that. I didn't say a word. I was just like, there it goes. Okay, it's turning around. Come on home. Oh, it landed. And then the sonic boom went off, and I was like, this is awesome. You know, like, dude, speechless. Freaking speechless from that thing, man. I was just like, what is happening right now? What is that? What is that? Oh, my goodness. You know? They also had the cloud layer reflecting the sound back down. Oh, yeah. Something like that, Tessa. I was thinking first row at a Metallica concert, but yeah, that your reference is good too. What's bananas is that the GSE is tanking all of it. Yeah. Must have been how Cronkite felt when the ceiling tiles were in. My gosh, the building's shaking. Look at that rocket go into the clouds. Yeah, good stuff. Top fuel, it has a lot of crackle like that. Yeah, top fuel draft. Yes, that would be that. Yes, like that. How you holding up? You know, dude, I've had an okay day. It's tough in the mornings. Like, it's tough getting back into the routine. I was having a little trouble hitting the start button today, but we're sitting here talking about rockets, and I'm in my happy place right now, so we're good. I'm in my happy place, you know? You can feel the B1B in your chest too? Yeah. B1B. You should make more of those. What? Am I wrong? Fair enough. Let's keep it going. Yep. What happened if I asked? John, you wouldn't believe me if I gave you the short answer. Check the VOD from Monday called Life Updates. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. I'm just going to tell you, and I'm not trying to do this to go, like, get views on that video or anything. I just genuinely, like, really don't want to talk about it. Last week was probably the worst week of my life. Period. Full stop. Yeah, like, the worst. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Like, I don't want to talk about it, dude. I'll go to a really dark spot real fast, and I don't want to do that, you know? Like, worse than late 2025. It was bad. They brought one back from the Boneyard recently. That's right, Genesis. They did. But it hadn't been there for very long, if I'm remembering correctly. The Boneyard has the... Oh, what the hell is it called, dude? You probably know more than I do. They have like a readiness state for planes that are in the Boneyard to be quickly reactivated in case something goes weird, and they reactivated one of those quick readiness planes. Stay strong. I'm trying, Meister. Yeah, dude, I'm trying. I'm in my happy place with rockets, but yeah, man, did last week suck, dude. It was so bad. I want to say counseling works, but also I want to keep away from that Tomcat. You know what, Bob? Okay, real talk for a second. I don't need, like, counseling or anything, dude. Like, dude, how I work is just purely analytical. I work through what happened in my mind, kind of come to peace with it, and then I move on. That's not psychological or psychiatric advice or anything like that. If you need help, go and get help. But, like, I guess, like, yeah, people be like, oh, I gotta process these feelings. Like, I just gotta work my way through it and come to terms with what happened, and then I'm good. You just move on. Okay, next thing. Consoling, not counseling. Oh, yeah, that too. Also, my reading comprehension ability has taken a hit over the last week. You know, like I just got to work through it. But yeah, consoling is fine, dude. Like, they also got some KC-135s. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Wait. Shouldn't we be replacing those with KC-46s? Right? Like, everyone can benefit from it if you're managing, though. That's all that matters. Yeah. I'm good, dude. I'm all right. I have good days and I have bad days, but I have good days and bad days. So, like, once again, just like this week, I might be a little bit sporadic in the schedule. Just because, you know, it might be just that I'm helping Bree. Like, she needed ice cream, so I took a break. So I went and got her ice cream. It was good ice cream. It was freaking Dairy Queen, man. I got Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen. Oh yeah, the Maverick Act, Bob. That's right. Take your time, family comes first. We'll be here. That's what I'm doing, Baron. That's what I'm doing. I'm just working my way back into streaming, dude. Like, yeah, my foundation got shook that much. Like super heavy going off in my face. Like, I'm just like, all right. You know, that happened. Did you see they're bringing out the last of the F-14s to put in museums and one to be reactivated? Yes, I saw the Maverick Act, dude. It's still got to pass in the Senate, if I'm remembering correctly. For the people that don't know, the Maverick Act it was passed in the House of Representatives at the federal level in the United States to take the remaining F-14s that the Boneyard, while we're on the subject of the Boneyard, that the Boneyard has, and transferring them to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, and also restoring one to airworthy status. You heard that correctly. Restoring an F-14D, F-14 Delta to airworthy status. You're awesome. Ever tell you that? Well, it's true. All right. Yeah. Hell yeah. So, where are we? We need to go to Tucson, to Tucson. So over here at Tucson is the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Storage Group. It's called the AMARG, right? This is where the U.S. stores extra planes. They store them out in the desert. U.S. Air Force and the Navy stores them out in the desert, uses them for spare parts, or retires them, or scraps them, or does whatever. 309th what is it? The Aerospace Composite Group or something? I forget what the acronym stands for. But there are some F-14s lying around in the Boneyard. So, context. Why is that so cool? 1, Top Gun. That has a lot to do with it. Top Gun. 2, no F-14. There's one. There's one of them. No F-14 has flown in the United States since 2006, since it was retired. The reason why is, and only F-14As and a couple of F-14B, Cs, Bravo, Charlies, and Deltas found their way into museums. The reason why is because Iran, the Islamic Republic Air Force of Iran, IRAF, I think. Islamic Republic Air Force. They were using F-14As. The U.S. sold F-14s to the Shah of Iran, and then Iran fell to the mullahs in 1979. The Shah was overthrown, and they had F-14s. They used F-14s in the Iran-Iraq conflict, and they still had F-14s until current events. Current events made it so they don't have F-14s anymore. So now that they don't have F-14s anymore, you know, this act came around. It's not a coincidence, right? Now, the reason why I say that, like, well, why didn't they just restore the F-14 fleet? Well, to make sure that Iran didn't get any F-14 parts and start upgrading their F-14s with our remaining stockpile, we scrapped all of them, except for like 6. We scrapped all of them, all the avionics, all the stuff that makes them work. We scrapped probably, well, shoot, I don't know, 300 F-14Ds or something. I don't know the number off the top of my head. There were 6 of them left. And then the rest are in museums, and even the ones in museums are gutted. They're just a shell. They're a shell, and that's it. So this is a big deal to restore one to airworthy status for, you know, for, well, the Maverick Act, because Top Gun, first reason that I told you. So, yeah, that's actually super cool that they want to do that. The Boneyard does keep planes around. They do keep certain examples of planes around. Like, if you look, this whole row of planes is... We got a Phantom right there. That's an F-111. I forget the name of that plane. A5, maybe? Somebody knows. There's an A6 right there. That's an F-15A. That's an old F-15. That's another A4. There's an F-14D. That's a B-57. Actually, that's an RB-57. A Canberra. We still have a couple of them sitting out in the desert. That's an old F-8, old F-16. That's an F-8 Crusader. A-10, an old A-10. That's an FA-18. That, dude, we're getting into some real museum pieces here. If people know what that is, good for you. So if you didn't know, that's an F-101. That's an F-4, F-106, F-105. These are all like super old school planes right there. So that's a 101, an F-4. That's a Delta Dart. That's Convair. F-106. And then an F-105 Thunder Chief. That's a beast of a freaking plane, dude. Bomber. These are all Vietnam. This is all Korean War. And, well, actually more Vietnam than anything. So the Boneyard does have them sitting out there. There's a bunch of P-3s over there from these pictures. Those are old C-130s. Huh. Whatever the cargo variant of the 707 was, there's some. But they do have... there's an antique right there, KC-10. That breaks my heart seeing a C-5 in there like that. Oh, hey, baby. Hey, baby. How you doing? Hey, baby. How you doing? My A&P school at Reedley got an F-105 fuselage surplus when I was there. We had fun taking it apart. F-105s are a pretty underrated plane, if you really want my honest opinion. Underrated, man. Hell of a bomber, and they go fast. They got a big old engine inside of them. Because they're designed to carry bombs. There are other F-14s around. We found them in these old pictures. I don't know exactly where they are. I'm sure we could find them. Those poor T-38s. What did you do to that plane? That poor F-15. No, I don't want to see that. F-4s, my beloved. Can I have one? Just one? Dude, Broncos. Look, Broncos. Ooh. Actually, I don't think those are Broncos. Those look like, what's the name of that Cessna that has the engines front and rear? Going through this is fascinating. Isn't it cool? Skymaster? Garbage? Skymasters. Yeah, I think that's it. There's some Hueys right there. There's some more F4s. What the hell is that? Is that a tornado? Or is that just a really, really, really messed up F4? Yeah, see, those are UH-1s. Those are old. One single turbo shaft. Lycoming T-53s. Great turbo shaft. Really want, yeah, honest opinion. You saw them in the corner. Where are they? There's a couple of UH-60s out there. A couple of pickup trucks. There's some F-16. Ooh, F-16 and Dazzle camo. Hello. That's pretty. There were other F-14s here. I just gotta find them. I think there's one... Oh, my word. Oh, can I have one? Like, for fun? Oh, there's one. There's another one. Cobras. Those are Huey Cobras. The Marine Corps still uses those. There's a bunch of KC-10s just sitting over there. What else we got? So we have one F-14 there. There's another one over there. Hello? Where's... Okay, so there's one there. There's one there. So we got two. There's more. I know there's more. How would you make the F-14 in KSP? I used robotics. Where is it? I know there's more. There's an A4 just sitting there. Is there a Boneyard for land vehicles? I don't know. Where is this? I'm in Australia. Gravos, Tucson, Arizona, in the United States. So we keep them out. We keep our planes out in the desert so they don't rust or corrode. It would be like storing planes in like Adelaide, dude, or like out in the outback. They ain't gonna rust out there because nothing rusts out there because it's the freaking desert. It's 5% humidity. I just can't believe we scrapped the entire freaking F-16 fleet. What are those? Huh. I'm not sure what those are. They could be A6s, but they don't have the intakes on the side. Baron!
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
There's a bunch of F-16s here. Liza, you got them? Give me a longitude, latitude. Oh, these are all S-3 Vikings. Submarine, Navy submarine, anti-submarine warfare plane. What else we got over here? E2s, I think. Yeah, E2s with the dish. The dish. A bunch of F-18 B1s. Oh, man. I hate this part. Those poor B-52s. They cut that one's head off. Black Horse, you got something? Oh, I was close. I was getting there, man. Oh, yeah, baby. There they are. Oh, yeah. Well, that one has the wing cut open, so I'm going ahead and guess that that one's probably not a restoration candidate. Oh, yeah. There's 4 of them right there, man. Let's freaking go. All these F-15s. Look at all of them. And F-16s. Stop. And C-5. How could you do that to a C-5? How could you do that? C-5s are beautiful. They didn't hurt nobody. Look what they did to... I mean, I would say that B-52s haven't hurt somebody, but they absolutely have, and these actual ones probably did. But also... No! Because C-5s are trash. You take that back, you filthy, disgusting person. Look at all of them. C-5s are awesome, dude. Shut up. You be quiet. Oh, look at all of them. They're beautiful. What brought us to the Boneyard? Near Gotnuk's, the Maverick Act. So those F-14s, it's probably 1, 2, and 3 if I had to guess. Those ones. The Maverick Act is a act that passed in the U.S. House of Representatives to restore one F-14 to airworthy flight status. For fun. I'm in. Do Europeans have anything like this? No, not even close. Show us the SR-71. I don't think they have one of these sitting out here. Oh. Oh, I can show you the field over here. If you look here, you know what I can show you? Here, over here. See this field? This is where we keep all of our stealth fighters. See? Look at all of them, man. It kills me to see them all out there like this. Look, we could be flying those, man. It's a shame. It's just a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Bro, look, seriously though, look at all the F4s. Can I have one? I just want one. You don't even need to have the J79s in it. I just need one. I just want an F4. All right? You know what? Just give me the head of one. Just give me the head of one and, you know, that's it. That's all I need. I'm good. Oh, can I have one of those too?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
You can't have one. You'd shoot your eye out. All I want for Christmas is an F4 Phantom. Is that too much to ask? What are these? A4s? Actually, oh no. Those are Harriers. Harrier parts. And Harrier fuel tanks. Look at those poor Harriers. What did you do to them? The B-1B for a WB-57 replacement. Clearly, it's what needs to happen. Where's the F-5 STOL at? Ghost Vera, that's at Edwards Air Force Base. And there's our stockpile of KC-135 parts. C-130s. Those are old C-130s. They see how short the fuselages are? They're old. Probably older than us. KC-10s. More scrap B-52s. But you know how people say, like, oh, B-52s are going to be flying into the 2050s. Well, yeah, it's because we're not going to run out of parts anytime soon. Because we have a lot of those. We built a lot of them in the 50s. And this is all parts. And that's all ordnance. You guys wanted to see Pima? Pima's across the street from the Boneyard. Anytime the Boneyard gets rid of a plane, like if we retire a plane permanently and we take it off status, F-14s notwithstanding, they give one to Pima. What's over here? Wait a minute. What's in here? Dude. Grumman Goose? All right. Those are C2 Greyhounds. Those are all C2 Greyhounds. Okay. And C-130s just everywhere. Bro, can I like get one of those? What is that, a DC-4? Freaking antique right there. All right, Pima's over here. Look at the collection that Pima has. B-58, B-57, B-52, another B-52, B-36, oh, B-47, whatever the 707 car passenger variant was for the Air Force. There's a B-50, B-50. I forget the name of that plane. Their passenger variants, so of the B-29, so 377. They have a Connie here. I forget where it is. C-123 right there. That plane was designed to carry Atlas missiles. A couple of C-130s. C-110 boxcar. C-141. There's not many of those around. They scrapped the entire fleet because they're dumb. Saberliner. The presidential version of a 707. Connie right there. NASA Super Guppy. Pretty good. NASA's, that is a 707 research plane for NASA. Check this out. Avro Shackleton, dude. Where the heck did that come from and why is it in the middle of the desert? Don't know. Electronic warfare Connie right there. What else we got? So that thing is one of the pre-production prototypes for the what is it? 787? That's like 787 serial number 3 or something. Check this out. T-38. I don't even know what that plane is. That's an F-9. That's an F-4. I don't know what that is. I don't know what... Oh, Street View. Nice. There's an A5. That's an A5 Vigilante right there. A4. F-18. Couple of Harriers. Check this out. They have 5 Harriers just chilling here. 2 of them are AV-8Bs, and 2 of them are AV-8, or well, Hawker Sidleys. That's the British version. You can tell because of the way it is. Dude, there's so many planes here. I don't even like. There's an F-104, F-106, F-101, F-100 Super Sabre. 2 F-105s, an F-4, an F-15, F-101, F-111, Panavia Tornado. 2 Tornadoes, actually. This museum is one of the gnarliest in the country by a long shot. They even have B-52 serial number 3. See that thing right there? Pre-production B-52. You know how old that damn thing is? It's serial number 3. It was made in 1952? Am I looking at that right? No way. That can't be right. It has the X-15 pylon on it. I know because I've walked underneath it. Was that 707 Sophia? Sophia is not here. It's not... No, Sophia is not at Pima. Oh, they also have a 4-segment double O-ring SRB. That is a Block 1 space shuttle 4-segment, like double O-rings, like Challenger, like that SRB. It's one of those. It's an old solid. So check this out. Can anybody tell me what that thing is? No, not the Pavlo. Watch. Oh, it's not in the picture. It's not in the picture. It's on the map, but it's not in the picture. They got a sky crane here, too. Here, back it out. That should give it away a little bit easier. It's a Hind. They have a Hind D right there. An Mi-24, dude.
Discovery,
it's former East German. I know because I stood next to it. Had a Russian gunship get here. Super Cobra CH-46. I forget the names of these helicopters, to be honest with you. There's a couple of Hueys over there. This isn't even the coolest stuff, dude. Check this out. MiG-29, MiG-21, MiG-17, MiG-19. That's a MiG trainer, and I think that's a Sukhoi S-7, I think. Dude, this museum is the gnarliest thing. There's an original B-57 Canberra here. Yeah. And that's not even what's in the hangars, dude. I'm not telling you what's in the hangars. You're going to have to go. There's Sophia. Sophia's over here. You were right. I was wrong. That 707 was not. Sophia was not there when I was there because it was still flying. Yeah, you guys are correct. There's Orbis, the Orbis Hospital. Oh, I hate that that's there. Whatever. It is what it be. Dude, YC-15? That's a cool plane if you don't know about that. Yeah, 777 SN1 is here. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, Pima is ridiculous. There's an RB-57 sitting back there. That right there, the 727, that's a 727-100. That's serial number 1. That's the first 727 ever made. And it looks like they got their hands on an Abrams. And a T-55. How do you get all this? Can I have some? Damn it! What? Man! Ooh, missiles. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see those? Rockets. Spoils of war, I guess. Where is this? This is Pima Air and Space Museum, Tucson, Arizona. Go. It is the gnarliest museum of... Oh, it's gotten so much better since I've been there. Holy crap. Mother fricker, dude. Falls 3 isn't updated with it. Yeah. B-Dean, what's your last, dude? I don't see it. Oh, there we go. Due to changes in U.S. Air Force security considerations, the off-site bus tours of the 309th, aka the Boneyard, are no longer available with no plans to restart. Hey, worked in Pima from 2021 to early 2024. Awesome place. It's in Tucson, Arizona, guys. Is there room in back for a project tank? Yes. Yes. Oh, they got an F-16 in there, too. Look at... Dude, they got artillery pieces. Oh, they have Hemmets. I want one. I want one. I want one. Oh, no big deal. Just a T-34. It's just a T-34. That looks like a T-34-76, judging by the barrel. What? How did you... Wait, how did they get a T-34? What? Is that a BMP? That's a BMP next to an M113. And that's a BTR-60 right there. Bro! Dude, I'm telling you, this place rules. Pima's amazing. Like, look at all this stuff. Look at all these little things. So busy now. Last, what's up? You commanding a VFT? Yeah. Guess that means you need to hurry up and get the coronet rolled out. Yeah. That was the PA at Starbase. Yeah, dude, they got a deuce and a half. Dude, they got 2 Kimbers just sitting there with RAF roundels. Very nice. West German F-104 right there. Dude. Those are Navajo missiles. 2 of them. There's the Thor. That's a Thor missile right there. I know because I hugged it. All the different tow bars for all the different planes. That's the resto hangar in there. An authentic Widowmaker. It really is. That's it, dude. It's painted with West German. It's got the West German livery. It's got the Iron Cross on it, dude. Super cool. Oh, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that freaking RV. Nah, it's a trailer, but whatever. Somebody, see that? Somebody lives there. I don't know that for sure. See last, please go to exhibits page. Before I left, we were working on tanks and stuff for the TMVM. It opened in 2025. Check it out. That's the longitude and latitude for the F-14s. The Tucson Military Vehicle Museum. Bro, is that a chieftain? Chieftain. Oh, it is a T-34-85. Very nice. T-72. Hell yeah. Wow. Can you just excuse me for a second? Oh. Oh, it's just attached to it. Okay. They got it from the Czech Republic. There are enough former Soviet states that we are now friendly with that have T-34. Same with the Heinz. Yep. Mm-hmm. EJ meet and greeted. Yeah. Your ability to remember their names is next level. Yeah. There are people that know it better than I do. I wonder if the Gloucester Meteor is still back there. Yep. Freaking Gloucester Meteor is over there. Or excuse me, Gloucester Meteor. They have a lot more missiles than the last time I was there. Those are a lot. I think, dude, is that a Sprint? That looks like a Sprint missile. If it's a Sprint missile, I need to go. I need to go. Yeah, I need to do that. Oh, there's so much good stuff. Ooh, hey, what are those? So, what are you doing with SRB aft casings, Pima? That's an SRB skirt right there. What are you doing with those? I'll take one. You know, take it off your hands. What? That was not there last time either. There's just a CH-46 and a Humvee just sitting out in the middle of the desert. Whatever, no big deal. What have we got over here? It's just planes. Oh, that's an art exhibit where people ruin 3C-47s. I mean, painted on them to express themselves or something. Yeah, Pima rules. And once again, guys, there's more planes inside of these hangars. I'm not telling you what's in there. You're going to have to go see. But yeah, I will never miss an opportunity to shout out a museum. And Pima is one of the gnarliest. That is one of the best museums in the country. Does Pima have an F-14? That's actually a good question. I don't know. You'd have to go see. Last. Now check this. Tucson military vehicle exhibits. Comet 1, Stewart. And really? Huh. M114. Oh, dude, PT-76. That's a Soviet amphibious tank. M41. M7. Self-propelled artillery. Whoa. Yeah. See that, chat? See that? That's nice. Yeah, that is a T-72. Wait a minute. We're gonna read that. Is this the one that the Marines got? Yep. B Company, 4th Tank Battalion, 4th Marine Division. Company captured this T-72B tank in Kuwait City following 4 days of combat, during which the company destroyed 119 Iraqi vehicles and took 474 prisoners in 4 separate engagements. Get some, baby. Get some. And we'll keep some, too. What else we got here? Another T-72. T-62. I don't know what an Otter is. 1917 5-ton artillery track. Dude, they have a perishing missile. They have a 777. Riverine assault craft. There's their T-34-85. I was right. It's an 85. So, the 85 has the long barrel. The T-34 had 2 big variants during World War II. There's the 76 and the 85. The 85 is the later version. It has a longer barrel. That's the one that was a menace, we'll say. They came in at the end of World War II. Yeah, T-34-85s are... Yeah, that's a pretty good tank. Pretty good tank. .1151A1 up armored Humvee. Let's just not talk about that. Everybody I know that used those hates them. M113, M110, Vietnam era self-propelled howitzer. That's Vietnam era. My favorite. Oh, I want one. And yes, Pima has an F-14. It's in a hangar next to the SR-70. I said not to tell people what's in the hangars, dillhole. Bro! Crane. See, here's the thing. You know, people ask me what my favorite tank is. An M88 is my favorite tank. You know why? Because, you know, they're going to be expecting you to have a tank with a gun on it. No one's going to be expecting you to have a tank with a crane on it. Just saying. All right? Just saying. That's my favorite tank. I'm not even kidding. M88s are cool. You could lift up an Abrams with one. That's pretty neat. Is that an M48 chassis? I believe it's based off of the M60. Oh, nope, bring that back. That's an M88A2, so it doesn't have as much horsepower, but... M3 Scout. Dude, the motor gun carriage half-track. Look at that thing. Just like in World War II, it was just like, we need to be able to move artillery around faster. All right, how about we just put one on half-tracks? We got plenty of those. All right, cool. Sounds like a plan. All right, sweet. You guys are stupid. They'll be looking for Army guys. They got a Bradley. Yeah. The LVT-4. So that's an amphibious watercraft that the Marines used in World War II, late World War II. The Harley WLC. Look at this. Oh. GTB fuel truck. Cool, cool. Dude, they have an 88. Whoa. Okay. It's German. Oh, yeah. German. Very nice. So that's a 88 millimeter German flak gun. It's the Germans ended up just using it for everything because it turns out it was just good, so they just used it for everything. They got an MRAP there. That's, dude, this museum has a really good amount of tanks, dude. A Centurion Mark V. It was a Centurion. Dude, look at that thing. Freaking British tank. That thing is, actually, that one might be a Canadian. Well, it's a British-made tank. That one looks Canadian from the markings. They don't have an ASV, an M1117. I didn't see one. They have a Buffalo. Look at that. Yeah, that was a BMP-1. They have BGM-109. Ground-launched cruise missile. Yeah. Is that a Humvee with Sea Sparrow missiles on the back? Yeah, nice. They have an AAV. If you're a Devil Dog, you know what that is. The Marines use those. Amphibious assault vehicle. German 105. Dude, this is insane. They got a flat fender. Flat fender Jeep. 666. Privately owned 88. Nice. Centurions are your favorite. Merlin power. Yeah. That's a good, that's right. A Centurion, the reason why I like Centurions, the reason why a lot of people like Centurions is because it's got a Merlin engine in the back. It's got a Spitfire motor in the back. What, you don't want your tank to have one of those? I want my tank to have one of those. I'm just saying. Oh, Kubelwagen. Or a VW thing. Weren't Centurions horribly unreliable? No. M5 Stewart, Kangaroo, APC. Alice Chalmers high-speed tractor, 18-ton. They just crudely pasted an armored vehicle on their tractor chassis. You've had the opportunity to jumpstart a thing? Nice. Ford GPW, baby. GMCCKW. Yep. You know, dude, look up how many of those got made during World War II. The numbers will blow your mind. Yep. W62. Power wagons. All power wagons, dude. Good stuff, man. Yep. Diamond TM3 half track. Yep. They got an EEL. Oh, Pima has everything. Don't worry. And it looks like this museum is attached to it. M60. Not a bad tank, dude. How many CKWs do you want? Yes. They got an M1A1. So that's an M1A1. That's an old Abrams. M5A1 Stewart. Cougar Harden Engineer HEV 6x6 MRAP. Cool. And you could touch them. In some cases, you can even go inside of them. Dude, a Hellcat. Bro, this place has some good freaking... This place has some good... Dude, that's a good museum, man. I have never been to this one unless it's attached to Pima. It's under construction. Where are they building this? You know there's a Falcon booster in Colorado? Yes, I do. Is it bad if like the M60? There's nothing wrong with an M60. The M60 is a good tank. It's still a good tank by modern standards. Seriously. I will say that, yeah. The M60 is still a good design if you don't have Abrams. If you don't have Abrams tanks. Taiwan uses M60s, dude. I'm telling you, have you ever seen those things? Check it out. They have an M60 that's basically been hot rodded with Abrams parts. Look. I'm finding a picture. Give me a moment. Where the hell is it? Yeah, there we go. Right there. Seen them up close and personal. More of those than M1s when you were in. Yeah, there you go, Bob. Yeah. Taiwan still uses M60s. They're a good tank, dude. The M60 to tanks is like what the F-15 is to fighter planes. Like the F-15's pretty damn good at literally everything. It's like one of the best fighter planes ever made by a long shot. It's not even close. Except if you have an F-22 or an F-35, and then in which case it's kind of like, all right. Portugal had a bunch of M60s. Now they're replaced by the Leopard 2A6. 60A3s are good tanks, Helder. Hey, Red Munchkin, what's up, dude? Yours is a Panther? That's your favorite tank? Panther is my favorite tank from World War II. Just because it's an amazing design. Not so much an amazing tank. It didn't do very well. Modernized M60. There were... Where the heck... I have to look. I have to go looking now. There were... Yeah. There were an M60 upgrade program right there. Teledyne Continental High Performance M60 prototype. They bid that and they lost to the Abrams. Mopar. Dodge actually made the Abrams. Chrysler, if you really want to know. Yeah, the Abrams is a Chrysler product. This is it. It opened in 2025. Okay. Panthers were horribly overrated. No, they're horribly amazing. Ah, okay. It's literally right next to it. Dude, I could spend a week in this, like, square mile of land. I could spend a week in here. Like, easily a week. Yeah, and I was wrong. Sophia is absolutely here. 747 SP that has an infrared telescope in the back. Just a week? Yeah. There's, you need to get back there. It's been a couple of years. Yeah, man. Dude, this museum is so gnarly. There's so much good stuff. Just casual A4 and an SRB just sitting outside. Whatever. No big deal. Use the date adjuster thing and you could see the building. Oh. Well, it's literally connected to Pima. Oh boy. Wait a minute. Wait. Now just wait a cotton picking minute. What's that? Oh, no way, dude. I know what that is. You know what that is? I know what that is. That's a test track. It's a square? No. Yeah, I mean, yes, but it's not a road, all right? It's a test track. They're minerals, Marie. Damn it. What's that doing there? Hey, baby. Is that another Shackleton? It is. You also cannot hit the fire button. Yeah. Get me out of the tank. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad. I'm literally a tank and you aren't. Get out of the tank. No, you can't tell me I'm a tank. Look behind it. There's an even bigger track. Yeah, Pima rules. We like Pima a lot. I know the restoration team, dude. That's is that a tank test track? That's a tank test track. Dude, there's so much good stuff here. Oh my goodness. Wait. Nice. Tanktona. Nice. Did they put Balls 3 on display? No, they didn't. It's just chilling over there. Yeah, this place rules. I can't believe they have the GE test propulsion platform there. That kind of sucks that they stopped that. They retired it. Whatever. Yeah, this is sick, dude. Good stuff. They do have the GE test propulsion platform, dude. Yep. What a sick museum. Go to Pima. I'm serious. Go to Tucson. There is another thing from Tucson that that you guys might appreciate if you're into rockets. Just while we're here, and then there's another bit of SpaceX info that SpaceX information that I want to talk to you guys about. If you go down here to Green Valley, it's just south. And by just south, I mean a good way south. This is just south in Arizona terms. Where are you? Ah, yes. Green Valley, Arizona. This is a sister museum to Pima. And it is the only remaining Titan II missile silo. They destroyed every single one of them. Well, partially destroyed every single one of them. This is a decommissioned silo. And it's a museum. It is a full Titan missile museum with the blast lock and the bird cage, if you know what I mean. It's the only one in existence. I mean, there are other bird cages that exist, but it's the only one with the intact silo. Yeah, that's a pretty gnarly museum. You can go in through the... So... okay, the EJ is going to get some missile silotism coming at you here real quick. All right, so a Titan missile complex consists of 3 principal components. All right, you have your missile silo, obviously, with your Titan missile in it. And then you have kind of an ancillary component called the long cableway, which is an underground hallway that connects the silo to the blast lock. The blast lock right here is the connection. It's the portal to the outside world that's not for missiles, so this is where people go in and out. Blast lock has, as implies, it has 2 gigantic blast doors here, and then it connects the long cableway to the short cableway. Short cableway is here. Inside of the blast lock, there's also a decontamination. There's a decon chamber right there, because Titan missiles are hypergolic, so if you needed to do maintenance on the missile, you had to go out there in escape suit down the long cableway. So in the short cableway on the other side here, you have something called the bird cage. The reason why it's called the bird cage is because the entire area, the launch control for a Titan missile silo, and the sleeping area, and the power generation for the entire silo is done inside of a gigantic hangar that's inside of a pill-shaped concrete structure, right? So it's kind of pill-shaped, like with a sphere on the top and a sphere on the bottom. And all 3 levels inside of the mission control center are hanging from the ceiling. And if you look at a cross-section of it, it looks like a bird cage. Don't ask me why I know this. Have I thought about finding a Titan II missile silo? Yes. That would be super cool. But yeah, there you go. Birdcage. Blast lock, long cableway, short cableway, missile. Titan 1 silos are cooler, actually, if you really want to know. But whatever. Why does it need to hang? What do you think, Drew? Oh, nice, Jim. There you go. The entire structure is hanging because, let's be real, if the Cold War went hot, this place is probably going to have a nuke shot at it. So it's all seismic resistant in case a nuke goes off near it. It'll keep all the equipment intact. The equipment is impervious to vibration, being like having the whole silo complex hanging there. There are YouTubers that go and buy missile silos. You can buy them. Seriously. But the thing about Titan II missile silos is that in the early to mid 80s, they decommissioned them from the because of the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty. They decommissioned them, and what that involved is basically blowing up the top of the silo and then pushing all the rubble in the silo. So the silo is basically ruined. I mean, that's fair. Some of them have the long cableways intact. Some of them don't. Titan II missile silos were in Tucson. They were in Tucson. They were in Arkansas. And I forget where the third one is. Where the third set of them. Kansas, Jim? But they did the same thing with a blast lock. They blew up the blast lock and then just dumped all the debris down in the blast lock. And then the Titan II silos, actually, they put a huge concrete cap on top of them to make sure nobody could ever use them. Some people have cleared out the blast, like they buy the land, they cleared the blast lock out, restored them, and restored the bird cage. There are people that have done that. That entire parcel of land was the U.S. government. There are other ones around Tucson, actually. You can go and find them. I do believe there's one over here, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep, there it is. Nope, that's not it. That's actually intact. It's somewhere down this road. Yeah, that's it right there. You could see where the complex was, and you could see where the silo was right there. The pads for refueling the missile are still there. But you could see also where the long cableway was right there. Blast lock was right there. The bird cage is still there. It's still underground. This is what I do in my spare time, fellas. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I do this for fun. A lot. There's another one over here somewhere, dude. If I'm remembering right. Some people make them into their houses and stuff. It's actually super neat. It's over here somewhere, dude. It's somewhere up there. You should get one and stream from it. Dude, the only thing I have up here are Nike missile silos, and you're not buying one of those. Which is a shame. Nike missile silos aren't nearly as cool. Yeah, those aren't nearly as cool. Google Earth is such a black hole. Yep. So speaking of Google Earth here, let's go over here and let's do this. Watch. Let's go this way. How about we go down to Vermilion Parish, south of Highway 82, on Pecan Island. Do you guys know what's here? There are Minutemen silos within 60 miles of you. That's nice. Yeah, why not? Yeah, Fluffy, if the Cold War goes hot, you're basically screwed. Me? Maybe. so check this out. This, let me circle it. This entire parcel of land right there, I believe it's 182,000 acres, was bought by SpaceX. Think about that for a second. Okay, now you can see it from freaking space. You can see that the if I keep the parcel of land highlighted, it's big enough to be seen from space. Look at it compared to New Orleans, for instance, or Baton Rouge. Look at it compared to the Cape. That is an insanely big parcel of land. Google buys the image data. You can see who they buy the image data from down here. That is an insane parcel of land. So, SpaceX actually publicly acknowledged this. Wait, what? SpaceX is partnering with Anthropic, apparently. Oh, that's great. So SpaceX publicly acknowledged it right here. So somebody, S.E. Robinson Jr. posted this. A realtor named Jim Keaty, Keaty Real Estate, published a rumor of possible SpaceX land acquisition in Louisiana. It states that SpaceX may have acquired or is acquiring 136. I said 182. It's 136,000 acres or 212 square miles of marshland south of Highway 82 towards the Gulf of America in Pecan Island and Freshwater City in Vermilion Parish of the Acadiana region. At the southeast corner of the land near the Freshwater City boat launch, is a plot of land ready to be converted for port operations and direct access to the Intercoastal Canal in the Gulf of America. Pecan Island is halfway between Boca Chica and Cape Canaveral and has easy access to Cheniere LNG and Golden Pass LNG on either side of the Louisiana and Texas border at Sabine Pass. This has not been confirmed by SpaceX or Elon. SpaceX retweeted this and said, "It's no secret we intend to launch Starship a lot, targeting thousands of flights per year. That cadence will require the ability to launch from many different locations, so we are constantly exploring to find viable sites to expand Starship operations in the future, both domestically and internationally." That's near your hometown of New Iberia. Really, Gapflag? Dude. Look. There's a deep water freaking port down here. With a heavy dock. And it's right before those locks. Right there. And I'm going to guess that this road is on a levee from what it looks like. No, not on a levee, just road. SpaceX is going to launch from here. They're going to launch stuff from here. Yeah, they're going to launch. They're going to launch stuff this way. And most likely land stuff this way. Yeah. That's a launch site. I'm pretty sure. One deep dive on the history of this site. Give me some time. They're going to need a lot of dirt. Well, Mutter, if I had to guess, they're probably just going to dredge this. They're going to dredge all this and build up land on this sandbar right here. That's a guess, but it seems logical. I love how there's more canals here than there are actual roads. We got a street view of what this looks like. Bro. It looks like Louisiana, boy. I'll tell you that. Got some single wide action here. Everything's up on stilts because you're in the marshland. This is like houses on the coast in Massachusetts are built like this. Down the Cape, they build them like this if you're near the water because the water can get angry. Hi, my name is Baba Boucher, and I was inquiring that I could help you on your upcoming season. I'm inquiring to be your water boy. Nice suit. Thank you. It was my daddy's. So we are very remote here. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do we got here? Oil? It's either oil or oil and gas. Now, I'm going to say this is probably... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Said anything about oil, man? You cooking? Why is it just chilling there? It's got to be piped in. It's got to be coming from somewhere. Dude, that is a gigantic freaking parcel of land. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is big enough for an entire space center, dude. There are a bunch of small wells out there. Got it. Huh. Any platforms offshore in the Gulf? Yeah, dude, absolutely. Does the parcel cover existing wells? I don't know. I don't know, dudes. I really don't. The hell is that? This is the middle of nothing. There is nothing here. Oh, there doesn't look like there's any wells out there. Wow. That's impressive, dude. Is that a fishing boat? I don't know what that is. Yeah, it might be a boat just going down the channel. I'm wondering what was here. What was this? Shrimp boat factory. You can do all kinds of things with shrimp, man. Whatever it is, it's got a heavy. You got a heavy dock already built here. From Robin. All right, what do we got? SpaceX is probably exploring lots of options, but the Louisiana launch site is looking more and more likely. I just spotted the sale of a small piece of land to a SpaceX engineer. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're gonna build a launch site out there. If I had to guess, guys, this is just EJ's random this is pulling it out of your tail guess. I'll bet you they're going to build test stands there too for Raptor engines. That's my guess. Launch site and testing facility. Not necessarily Star Factory. They're probably going to test motors there. McGregor is too built up. You can't expand. But yeah, there's plenty of land. Like, it's 100,000. It's 212 square miles. Like, put some test stands out by the water, you're going to be fine. I don't think test facility, the land is too marshy. You don't think test facility, but you do think launch site? Question? Hello? There's plenty of mud. Look up the land costs out there for funsies. I'll leave that to you guys. Lots of orbital inclinations are available for there. That's right, Gary. Yeah. Rhode Island is only 1,600 square miles, dude. Yeah. That's more than enough for a space center. Use the engine test to dry out the land. Yeah. That's wonder how many times they'll have to build it. Well, guys, my guess, this is EJ's guess here. You have enough land. So, all right, let's think about this. You obviously want it near the heavy dock so you can move Starship parts. You want to be relatively close, right? I'm going to guess that this, but you don't want it too close to the lock because boats clearly go up the intercoastal here. What the heck is that? Cool. It's got a moat. That's pretty neat. Yeah, see, boats go up this. They use this canal, whatever it is, to get up here, to get up into civilization up there. So, what I would guess is that they're probably going to dredge this. They're probably going to... See, I don't even know what these canals were for, but they've clearly been blocked off. There is a levee right there. No Chevys, though. I'm going to guess that they're going to go in and dredge it, and they're going to build probably down here. Probably build like 4 or 5 Starship pads just across here. And then maybe some test stands up here. This looks to be relatively solid terrain. And I emphasize relatively here. But there's clearly a sandbar right here. You could build up this. Yeah, you could build here. And if you dredge behind it, right, all the water is going to pool over there anyway. You dredge behind it, you can build that up. Hey, Crimson J. More subs for more space. That's Avery Island. It's where they make Tabasco sauce? No freaking way, dude. What? Really? What? What? I don't know why I find that funny, but that's awesome. Freaking Tabasco sauce, dude. Let's freaking go. I was gonna say, it looks like the Animal Kingdom up in here. Do not block that canal, then. Cool. See, dude, like, if you're, you know what the crazy thing is? Dudes, if you're watching this from overseas, you're watching this from like Europe or Oceania or wherever, right? If this place looks foreign to you, you want to hear something weird? It's my country. This place is foreign as hell to me. I would not fit in here. I'd stick out like a sore thumb. Like, this is terrain that I am just blatantly unfamiliar with. See, it's Lexi's last, please. Hey, EJ, I just wanted to ask a quick question. Do you know what's next for NASA now that the Artemis 2 crew is back? Sorry if it's completely off topic. I watch you every day when you were streaming the mission, and you were helpful with understanding what NASA was talking about during the mission. Thank you for everything. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I'm trying to get back into the groove, Lexi. I had a very bad week last week. What's next? So I did kind of cover this at the beginning of Space News, if you want to go back and get a more detailed context. They're working on Artemis 3. Artemis 3 is the next flight. It's going to happen next year. And what it is they're going to shoot Orion off on an SLS, and it's not going to go to the moon. It's going to go to low Earth orbit, and it's going to practice docking with the landers. Remember how during the Artemis missions I was saying the landers weren't finished? They're not finished. Well, they're going to be finished. And then in 2028, they'll land with the Artemis 4 mission. We used to go to the Gulf during the summer, a bit further west near Cameron. Good old boys, yep. You'll tan soon enough, you'll be fine, yep. No, boy, I'm where you make it. No, I'm where you make it. Everybody know that. Damn, boy. You like to see raptors naked? No, I'm where you make it. You like to see Starship naked? What? Everybody know that. Damn, boy. That's crazy to think about. Thank you so much. Much love. Yeah, all good. Don't worry about it. Lexi, what we're looking at right now, just on a quick side note, is from about here to here. Okay. This thing just decided it wanted to be weird. I hate it when this happens. So see this? SpaceX bought all that land. They're going to build another launch site in Louisiana. That's a big site. That's bigger than Boca Chica. That's way bigger than Boca Chica. Huh. Crazy. Port Arthur. Arthur, we gotta go to Louisiana. Whoa. Huh. Somebody playing City Skylines, or? Nice. Hell yeah, look at this. Hell yeah. Look at this refinery goodness. Yes, that's awesome. Ooh. That's not awesome. But the rest of this is freaking sweet. Hey, Jackal. Dude, it's perfect grids. Look at that. Except for the city center. Dude, that's sick. That's actually impressive. Look at that. Pretty cool. What are your thoughts on extraterrestrial like of the UFO stuff dropping? That's just Mountain Dew pools. Yeah. Lexi, the Mountain Dew stuff? Mountain Dew stuff. The alien stuff? Mountain Dew is the best drink ever. I hate being that guy. It's most likely ice that you're seeing, like, from the Apollo missions and stuff. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew. It's most likely ice. Staging, when rockets stage, when they separate, like, sometimes the way the decouplers detach, they shed ice off the sides. Like, that happens. Oh, sorry to hear that. Better times hope for you. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, I had a very bad week last week. Speaking of that, I probably should go check soon. But, hey, all systems, what's going on? Yeah, like with the UFO stuff, Lexi, like there's... My best way to say it is, like, I don't think there's aliens floating around out there. What I do think, though, is that space is a very dirty place. It's not as... There's stuff out there that we don't know about. There are phenomenons out there that we don't know about. I mean, you go back 500 years, people think the boreal effect, the aurora borealis, right? People think that's the gods telling them something, right? Like, you go back 1,000 years, they look at that and go, oh, we're dead. The gods have forsaken us, right? Like, but we figured out that it's boreal effects. Or aurora effects. I say boreal effects. It's not the right way to say it. So, like, I've seen some of the footage from that UFO stuff. I really haven't dived into it, and I'm probably not going to. But all I'm going to say is that there's a lot of stuff going on in space. It's not just empty space, right? Just because it doesn't have, like, air doesn't mean there isn't things up there that we don't know about. So I'd just like to ask. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah. There's stuff out there. Whether it's alive or not, I don't know. Might be. Lexi, I've always had this rule. And people ask me about aliens, like, you know, they're like, oh, you like space. What about aliens? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is this. If there are aliens out there, I want to be the ones discovering them. I do not want to be discovered by aliens, okay? Think about this for a second. You want to cook, or do you want to be cooked? I want Starship Troopers. I don't want Independence Day. Picking up what I'm laying down? So, we should go further in space. That's what I mean. We should go further in space. We should figure out how to do the whole, you know, like, warp speed stuff, right? We should figure out better propulsion systems so we can actually go and explore because, you know, like I said, rather have Starship Troopers than Independence Day. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with it. There's stuff out there that we don't know about. We're scratching the surface, you know? And don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. We're scratching the surface. We got to figure out what's going on. And that's when I mean that. I like that's what I mean. Like, there's no better way to say it. We should go and figure out that there's aliens out there, not aliens figuring out that we're here. That would be bad. We don't want that. What if they're mean? They might be mean, okay? They might be Iridians. They might be nice. Who knows? But they also could be very mean. We could discover the Zerg from StarCraft or the Flood from Halo. Don't want that. That would be bad. Need a light? Slamming. Want to turn up the heat? Yeah, the Borg could be out there. That would be bad. Poor aliens, we are mean. Yes, that's right, Crunch. But hey, the universe is a violent place. Do not let anybody try to fool you and say that it's some happy-go-lucky place. It is not. Stuff blows up there all the time, like stars. It is a violent, chaotic place. There's meteorites, there's meteors, there's rocks, there's ice, there's all kinds of crap up there. It is not a nice place to be. Space is constantly trying to kill you. So, that ipso facto, aliens up there might want to do the same. So we should probably find them first, all right? At least I recognize that we're violent people, all right? Like, humans are violent. I get that, all right? I understand. But also at the same time, like, let's find the aliens. You know, like, I hate to be that guy, right? I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all, right? Like, as messed up as that sounds, rather that than Independence Day. What are the odds they exist? Good odds, MJ. The universe is a big place, dude. There's good odds that there's aliens out there. Now, whether they can get to us or not, that's probably unlikely. There's something out there, and I say we should go find it. Aliens are going to be violent too. How do you become apex predator on your planet otherwise? That's right, Blark. There you go. That's what I'm saying, dude. The universe is a violent place. Earth is a violent place. The aliens that we encounter, if we ever do, they might not be nice. I mean, it would be nice to discover the Vulcans. That would be pretty sick. Or the Iridians. That would be cool too. But what are the odds of that? You don't know. Don't you think with all the nuclear power we can be able to fight? Don't know, dude. You want to find out? I don't want to find out. Discovering the Terrans would be weird. Yeah, that would be strange. Those Vulcans? Yeah, there you go. That's right. It would suck being alone? That would kind of suck, but that means it's all out there for the taking, Ghost Vera. I don't necessarily mind that, do you? Jackal, you have another race this weekend. Going to Saturday practice, we use drum clutches, and my problem is driving this thing like a stock car with the throttle. Not keeping the clutch engaged is a big no-no. Need to work on that. Huh? You'll figure it out, dude. Just feel, man. You get it over time. Finding the Protoss would be cool. Yeah, finding something like Protoss would be cool, but I can't help but think we'd screw it up somehow. The mind-blowing thought, though, is that we're the lost tribe of a wider spacefaring race. I've thought about that, Jay. Tinfoil hat theory time, like... I've thought about that. What if, like, humans entered the system to colonize Mars with no way back, right? To wherever we came from, right? And we screwed up Mars, and then they came here. I mean, panspermia is a popular theory, guys. That's what it's called. And it's a funny word to say. Yeah, I mean, scientists kind of think that that's how humanity and how Earth got kind of life, that it was a meteorite hit it and gave us the building blocks that we needed. Meteor is just a spaceship, a different type of spaceship. You said pan. Stop. Did you see Ryan from NSF new Starship Flight 12 hype vid? No, that's cool though. I'll have to check it out. What was the theory? Panspermia is that life came from outside of the solar system, Jackal. That's what that means. Life came from outside of the solar system, and it came in on a meteor or a spaceship. I mean, unlikely a spaceship, most likely a meteor. Hit Earth and gave Earth the building blocks for life. That's the idea, at least. Mars escape ships, Adam and Eve. Dude, it makes sense, but, you know, that whole scientific thing needs that whole peer review and evidence thing. We kind of have to, hey, maybe we should go to Mars and figure that out. You know, like, oh, geez, that might be a good idea. That's not a bad idea. The South Park episode would be true. Earth is just a giant reality TV show. If you had the opportunity, would you go to space? Of course. Sure. I just realized I've heard this theory on a podcast. You have a podcast. You have the TikTok. And they put it in a very interesting way. Or we're just a subway locker in MIB. Mutter, if I'm going to go full tinfoil hat, that's not far off. Like, if we're going to put the real big, like, you know, microwave reflecting tinfoil hat on. If aliens have contacted us, it's probably not in this realm of existence. They probably didn't get here from space flight, like, you know, you need to go from this star system to this star system. They're most likely interdimensional. Like, but that's pseudoscience. Like, who knows? But yeah, the Jim Locker theory. The Dark Forest theory? Yeah. See your last, please. What's up, Redbeard? Is your last a tag? I don't see your last. If it's not a tag, I can't. It's beautiful, too. I don't think we should just kill every alien species we come across, man. That's not necessarily the implication of what I'm trying to say, though. You know, the point is that I don't want a race. If an alien race is powerful enough to make an interdimensional portal to come here, they're way higher than us on a Kardashev scale, and they look at us the same way that we'd look at an anthill. Do you care about an anthill? No. You step on an ant, who cares? No one cares. It's not going to change the universe. If aliens are contacting us, that means they are way better at technology than we are. And they will treat us as such. Treat us like how we would treat a rat, or a cockroach, or an ant. Or a pet. I don't want any of that. That's kind of the implication. Not that we should just go around looking for aliens and blow them up. You know what I mean? Gary, space, the final frontier. $2 super chat. Or worse, cattle. If I had to choose, I'd choose a hamster. Well, our planet does spin, so that would make sense. You are bugs. Yeah, that's right. Half-Life 2 Combine invasion. That, Jackal. That. Is Half-Life 2 kind of forged that tinfoil hat theory for me, but... Have you read Ender's Game? Yes. Orson Scott Card, man. Good books. The movie sucked. It was not nearly as good as the book. Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't mind me. All good. Did you finish Project Hail Mary, the book? No, I'm not finished. I've not finished with it yet. Brimo and I are listening to it on audiobook. Those plans kind of got delayed last week. I agree, Hellfish, yes. If we do become pets, I'm cuddly and adorable. Yeah. That's what I mean, Ollie. We should be the ones finding people. If you guys want to understand how this works, play... What's the Space Hearts of Iron game? What's... Stellaris, that's what it's called. Yep, my voice is starting to go. Play Stellaris. You'll understand what I mean. Montauk is a 20 to 30 minute boat ride for you. I don't know what that means in context of what we're talking about, Iger, but that's cool. I've played Stellaris on stream before, Jackal, yeah. Okay. Guys, that was a pretty good space news. I think we're back in the groove here. I'm gonna stop for now. I gotta go return some videotapes. I really don't think they would allow that information out. I truly think that aliens would have to come forward. I think modern civilization would break down if scientists came out and said we found ET there. I don't think people would care. Really. If you really want if you really want my honest opinion. Be kind and rewind. Alright, guys. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Once again, I don't know when I'm going to be here. But, yeah. I'll be here tomorrow. We still have to talk about the Starship Flight 12 plans, and there is more space news. So I think I'm comfortable just maybe doing some battlefield and space news, but we'll play it by ear, okay? They're too busy looking at their phones to care. Bingo. Give Brie our love. Will do, Groot. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm just trying to slow roll back into streaming. We did a good 3 hours here of space news. That's good. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me. It's gonna take some time for me to get back into the groove. But I hope you enjoyed this space news and airplane, Pima, museum, dive, F-14s, SLS, etc., etc. I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow sometime. You have a Discord message. Yeah, I know. I've gotten 27 Discord messages since I started this stream. 27. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Larky, happy to see you. Much love to your family. Well wishes. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm Mr. Popular. Aren't I the popular one? All right. In a row? I can make it 28. No, I insist. Please don't. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.